He is not here to represent himself.
Because he himself is worried about the tax, because he knows that there are several things he's told us that I think never lead to expectation on. And
right.
So for me, I don't think he's for it.
Let's make tracks. The Daily Guide newspaper, NDC plays hide and seek with Parliament. We all know what is happening there. Absence from Parliament. There's also appeals. Okay, so I get. Whenever we say appeals court, it is the Court of Appeal or the appellate court. Appeals court doesn't even exist. Anyway, Court of Appeal bounces Jachi Kwesen. There's I am not dead, J.A. Kufuor says, and Bawumia shoots down Islamic funding propaganda. There's also anti-LGBTQ injunction dismissed. We've looked at some of these stories. The I am not dead story, you know, the rumor mill, there's been another, you know, trend where people are suggesting the former president, the gentle giant, was dead, but he is not. And they're coming out to say that forcefully. But also on page 3, the vice president, you know, in recent times, there were some suggestions that he was affiliated to funding from some sort of terrorist group. Well, he has denied claims of being funded by any Islamic group. It follows a vile post, so to speak, by one David Humdayen, a journalist in Nigeria, that the vice president's campaign to be elected as the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party in the 2024 general elections is being funded by some Islamic groups in Nigeria called the ACF. Well, that is his response, but I believe we'll see what happens as time goes by. Strongman and Medical fight on Twitter, and rapper Medical has started a new fight with fellow rapper Strongman Bano after he decided to troll him on Twitter. On Tuesday, Medical tweeted old images of Strongman working out at the gym to make fun of him. The rapper, born Vincent Osekweku, was captured lifting a dumbbell. Medical, in sharing the photo, described Strongman as a, quote, work of art in what looked like he was body shaming him. And there's never a shortage of matters to discuss in this country. On the back page, Aubameyang quits Chelsea for Marseille, and Infantino wants only positive vibes as Women World Cup kicks off today. Quick thoughts, then we'll do the business finder and wrap.
I'm sure the bid on J.A. Kufuor's death is something I am not too pleased about. Ghanaians are quick to break negative news, even if we don't know the truth about them. Why should the death of somebody, especially the former president of the country, be of so much concern, and we are in haste to want to break whether he's dead or not? I really don't know what's happening. But whatever it is, I wish his family well. But I don't think that these are things we should easily be sharing. You hear the death of somebody, you may want to do some cross-check here and there before you put it across. I am really not enthused about some of these things.
Right.
We all came this world and will die and live. Why are we in haste to break somebody's death? I really don't understand why.
All right, and let's get into these stories, and then it's go. The Daily Statesman, stop the personal attacks. NPP chairman cautions aspiring flag bearers. There's also Boachi Ejako, MPP defeat will be bad news for Ghana. I don't know whether you agree with him, but the business finder is where I'm going to conclude. Economy to recover by 2025. Growth will slow down 2023 and 2024, says World Bank report. Let me just get into that story, and then we can cap it off. So the latest World Bank report on Ghana says the Ghanaian economy will recover to its potential growth by the year 2025, but after growth has slowed down to 1.5% in 2023, remaining depressed in 2024 at 2.8%. The report, titled, quote, Price Surge, Unraveling Inflation's Toll on Poverty and Food Security, said Ghana faced an extremely challenging outlook and the economic situation was likely to remain challenging before it rebounded. This is nothing new. This has been the rhetoric of the World Bank, by the way. Final thoughts, and we're gone.
It's nothing new, but we are feeling the pinch on the ground. And for me, the situations we are in now, and what we see around, there's nothing new happening in the front of the managers of the economy. They are just dancing around the situation and really don't know what we are doing. The inflationary rate keeps increasing every now and then. Rates keep depreciating every now and then. It's nothing new. We are aware. We only have to brace ourselves for another crucial year of 2024. and hope that John Dramani Mahama is voted for to come to save this economy, saying that they have to vote for the MPP or for them losing will be a bad news. That would be the greatest news anybody would want to receive in Ghana. If you see the atmosphere around now, you will know what it is. And for me, you are you can testify to whatever we are all talking about. It is nothing new. So people just speak English and they hope that things, whatever they intend to do with this, I don't know. But for us as a people, and based on these reports, we know that things are not too good, and we may have to change those at the hem of our face. Somebody suggested earlier that President Akufo-Addo should calculate the number of months left for him. We pay him salary, and then he resigns, and so we see the way forward. Things are not too good.
Okay, Maxwell. We'll have to cap it off here.
Then we have reports that he's been sponsored from ACF in Nigeria. Maybe that is why he has so much. You remember the last time he had.
But he's come out to refute those claims. Anyway, he's come out to refute those claims. But Maxwell, this is where we're going to have to cap it off. Our time is already passed. Our time is already passed.
I don't think you believe that he will come to accept that, yes, a terrorist group in Nigeria is funding my country. Will he do that?
Well,
if you were in his shoes, will you do that?
Maxwell Lukuto is NDC parliamentary candidate for South Tone. He joined us this morning for the conversation. Maxwell, my apologies, but our time is up. He is the NDC's parliamentary candidate for South Tone. He joined the conversation. Max, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Lovely day with dry pockets.
What a way to end it. Anyway, so right before we go, though, this is a special wish, belated happy birthday to my own friend Esther Adu of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Wonderful personality, very affable, and I'm so sorry I missed your birthday, but I'm making up for it today. Belated birthday wishes to you, and keep growing in everything that is good. May God's favor locate you in everything you endeavor. Right before we get into sports, this segment always brought to you by Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. They're offering free prostate screening if you're a man, free fertility screening if you're a woman. So make tracks to any of their branches. Locate them here in Accra at Spintex opposite the Shell signboard, Kumasi Kronuma here behind the Angel Educational Complex, Takrade Anaji State Tema Community 22, Techiman Hanswa and Siamanzima. You can reach them via the phone on 0244 867-068 or 0274-234-321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. Ghana for Sports is up next.
Water is life. Water gives life. Water moves through nature in a never-ending cycle. Observe the beauty of water as it flows all around us, refreshing and restoring. Gaze in wonder at the stillness and beauty of nature. There's harmony in nature everywhere around. Water revitalizes the body and keeps you going strong. Water is life. Water gives life. Drink Awake Purified Drinking Water, one for life. So relax and unwind, and in the calmness of nature, find the rest you desire. For every bottle of Awake you buy, an amount to be donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA approved.
The new exciting football channel is now available only on HD Plus and brings you football from around the world. Watch Sadio Mane and Daniel Kufitre in the top weekly match of the Bundesliga 1 and DFB Cup, Primera Liga, Copa de la Liga Profesional, see Ronaldo in the Saudi Pro League, as well as daily sports news every other hour. Also, get updated on Messi and Mbappe on PSG TV and many more. Feely on HD Plus channel 151. Agronaede HD Plus, the Feely experience.
Under the distinguished patronage of His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Ghana National College celebrates its 75th Speech and Prize-Giving Day under the theme 75 Years of Holistic Education, Nurturing Leaders for the 21st Century. Date, July 22nd, 2023. Time, 8 a.m. Venue, Ghana National College, Cape Coast. The celebration will be climaxed with other landmark events as follows. July 16th, Regional Church Service. July 19th, Inter-House Debate. July 20th, Nananum Inspire followed by a sit-down. July 21st, Football Gala, AGM, Flag-Raising Ceremony and more. July 22nd, Speech and Prize-Giving Day, Fundraising Dinner Dance. July 23rd, Thanksgiving Service, swearing in new executives, Omuto Fufu Gathering, Pool Party. Nananum Enyansafo.
Yeah, you're still watching the AM show. It's time for sports. My name is Haruna Mubarak. We start at the doorstep of the Ghana Football Association because they have announced the start of the Ghana Premier League. The competition is set to kickstart on the 15th of September. Now, it's really interesting. Football fans across the nation are eagerly looking forward to the forthcoming fixtures, which will be disclosed in due course, according to the GFA. Defending champions Midiama, they are eager to build on their success from last season and are actively seeking the right players to strengthen their squad for another title run. Ashanti Kotoko and Hearts of Oak, two of Ghana's big football clubs, they are also expected to stage a comeback this season after underperforming in the previous campaign. As club owners get ready to start the season, former Black Stars forward David Akam is sending a strong message. He's charging them to improve their investment in the clubs. He believes inadequate funds has affected the quality of clubs to compete at the highest level.
I think as Joy did an interview with one football administrator, I don't want to mention names, but they asked him how much he's made for money, and he said he's made about 5-6 million. And when you look at his team, I don't think he's not invested anything into his team. He doesn't have facilities for his team. The jerseys they wear, it's not even good enough, and that's one main reason. When America have money, they put the money into good use. They build academies. When you come to the MLS now, they have the MLS. Every team have MLS Next Pro. It's like reserve league that they play against every team. And then they have the academy where they play MLS Nest. They play against each other, and sometimes they invite teams from all over the world play tournaments. So that's the progress. But in Ghana, we don't invest the money into football. We make the money from football and take it somewhere else. We don't invest the money, and we always complaining. So money is one, and also be ready to have a goal. Set the goal and follow through. It will take time, but for us, we want the progress. We want the job. We don't want to suffer. When we set the goal, follow the goal through. It will take time, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, but let's have a firm goal, a firm DNA that this is what we want to achieve. And that's what they're doing here. And now you see America sell players from MLS to Europe for 20 million, 50 million. But we have players in our league that can't even go for 1 million. And I spoke to some teams when they want players, they go to Ghana and scout, and they were like, David, I don't think a player from Ghana can go straight into a league in Europe, even Scandinavia level, and start straight away. It will take time. And hearing this from people who know football is frustrating and sad, because you want Ghana players to do well, and if they're looking down on us like this, it's difficult. And you can't really blame the players. You just blame the system, and maybe a little bit of the players, because they also have to better themselves.
Well, to women's football, when the Black Queens have turned their attention to Benin in the second round of the 2024 Olympic Games qualifiers. This follows their 7-0 aggregate win over Guinea over 2 legs. Now, despite the emphatic win, head coach Nora Haptel is not getting carried away. She wants more improvement from her side ahead of the game against Benin in October.
Up in terms to the first game we had away in Guinea. I think we liked that the pitch is rolling much better here, so our possession game was good. Our rest defense was perfectly set, so we didn't allow them to enter in counter-attacks. I think we had a big dominance on the pitch. Of course, the only thing I can maybe judge is that we should have scored a bit more goals out of all these chances. But all in all, I'm very satisfied, happy that we passed this first qualification round, and we want to aim high. Of course, it's just the first step and the next step in our mission, Volta. I think it's always good to take it step by step. So we passed now the first round, and then you're right, it's Benin or Guinea-Bissau waiting. We know Benin already from a friendly from February. Of course, we then analyze very good opponents and just focus then to take also the next step. We said this week we are like all in a boat together, our team, riding the mission Volta, and we always need to ensure that we go into the next harbor, so make the next step, and then we can think about the third and fourth ride. Okay. In between is also the WAFCON qualifier, so in September we go to Rwanda first and face them in the WAFCON qualifiers first round. We work a lot on our principles, on our game plan, strategy. We focus a lot on us to strengthen and level up our strengths. Of course, beside we always do a good opponent analysis. We always have a high respect of every opponent we face. We try to find their weaknesses, the right spaces. So my staff, you will see it, will make a very good job in analyzing also of them. But we work a lot on us, on the focus is on us to level up our players on position, and I think this is the main focus.
Let's go to Kumasi because the city is gearing up for the semi-finals of the MTN Ashanti Fest 2023 at the Dichemsu Otunfo Park. I might say that the crowds that have thronged the match venue since the competition started weeks ago is a testament to the good football and quality of goals. Now, one of the standout players that have been in the team is obviously Atonso team. That's the team I'm referring to. He is Richmond entry. He has scored 6 goals, and these are some of his key performances. You've enjoyed it. Now, you want more, head over to Otunfo Park at Dichemsu tomorrow from 2 p.m. for the semis featuring Kwadasu versus Ejisu and Dichemso versus Santasi. Really, really good games. And now let's go to Europe, because Donny van der Beek's goal was enough to secure Manchester United a win against French side Lyon. Their second win so far in this preseason after beating Leeds United by 2-0. Liverpool also emerged 4-2 winners over their opponents.
Maybe Ange will be disappointed he couldn't quite get it across Lopez, but Lopez made the save. Blake. And that brings it to a conclusion. No stoppage time.
And it's Darwin Nunez who looks in and behind. Salah was behind him. Nunez will get another go and will score. Appeals are there for offside. There's no flag coming. And Liverpool are off to an absolute flyer. Heiser stands over it. And will stand aside as it's delivered by Nebel. And the volley is hit absolutely brilliantly. Nice take by Stindl. And helps the ball on for Sebastian Young. It's opening up for Sebastian Young, who strikes home brilliantly. Nothing at all that Jarosz could do in the Liverpool goal. Barged Joe Matip out of the way there in his determination to make sure he got the ball back at his feet.
I'm not sure
that's McAllister.
He might be able to actually run through the legs of like Joe Matip.
It's a decent ball, knocked down is good, and the finish is very, very tidy from Cody Gakpo. Beautiful little turn and strike, and Liverpool are back on terms, and you have to say that the pressure's been growing and growing, and that's been coming. That's Gakpo, it's a lovely ball, Diogo Jota, and Liverpool are lucky to win it, and do win it. It's beautifully finished by Diogo Jota, made by Cody Gakpo, and Jota dances his way through. Well, it's not the be-all and end-all winning, but it certainly feels nice, and they could wrap it up in style here, which they do. McAllister to Jota, who scored 2 in a minute, and now Liverpool have 4.
For more, you can head onto myjoyonline.com. My name is Haruna Mubarak, and that's your sport.
For crystal clear and thrilling podcasts and live shows, download and listen to us on Apple, Spotify, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, MyJoy Online, Amazon services like Echo, Amazon Music, and Audible, Stitcher, Adom Online, Overcast, and Pandora. Take note of everything. Sign up for the Multimedia digital platforms now to stay updated.
We've had news file over the weekend, and an interesting part of the conversation focused.
Oh no, we are out of range.
Oh, don't worry, Daddy. I have Alexa in my bag.
Alex, what?
Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana and play Joy FM.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
Listen to Joy FM, Hits FM, Love FM, live on your Amazon Echo. Listen to your favorite multimedia radio stations live on your Amazon Echo device by saying, Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana, play Joy FM or Hits FM or Love FM. Or catch up on your favorite podcast by saying, Alexa, play, and then the name of your favorite podcast from Multimedia Ghana. For a list of all podcasts available, say Alexa. Ask Multimedia Ghana to browse programs.
And we are back like we never lost signal.
Alexa, welcome to Multimedia.
Under the distinguished patronage of His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Mamoudou Bawumia, Ghana National College celebrates its 75th Speech and Prize-Giving Day under the theme 75 Years of Holistic Education, Nurturing Leaders for the 21st Century. Date, July 22nd, 2023. Time, 8 a.m. Venue, Ghana National College, Cape Coast. The celebration will be climaxed with other landmark events as follows. July 16th, Regional Church Service. July 19th, Inter-House Debate. July 20th, Nananum Inspire followed by a sit-down. July 21st, Football Gala, AGM, Flag-Raising Ceremony and more. July 22nd, Speech and Prize-Giving Day, Fundraising Dinner Dance. July 23rd, Thanksgiving Service, swearing in new executives, Omuto Fufu Gathering, Pool Party. Nananum Enyansafo.
Six technical universities have set out to lock knives and ladles in the quest for the bragging rights as the Big Chef Tertiary School 2023.
We know we are the best and we are not shaken by anyone.
Hey.
Chinese
We are all the way from Takoradi Western to Greater Accra. Oh no, come on.
Visitors cannot come from anywhere and come and defeat us.
We can prepare dishes that are going to suit the judges all day.
We are here to win. We are taking everything back to home.
The battle line is drawn. Big Chef Tertiary shows this and every Sunday at 5 p.m. only on Joy Prime. Big Chef Tertiary, the kitchen has no boundaries. Joy Prime, your ultimate experience.
News is important. It's the only way you get to know the things that happen around you, what affects you today and the future. At JoyNews, we have reporters scattered around the country who tell us about the communities they live in, the people and their stories. The key part of our job here at JoyNews is to make clearer the muffled voices in every part of society. We shine light on the issues. My name is Aisha Ibrahim, and this is JoyNews. Independent, credible, and fearless.
Thanks for joining us on Focus on Africa. I'm Wahiga Mwaura.
This is a covert operation on the hunt to catch a criminal.
We've been here for nearly a week and this camp seems to grow every day.
The nightmare of hyperinflation has haunted Zimbabwe for over 20 years now.
Why is racism seemingly such a hard nut to crack for La Liga?
I think they are the first to say that they have not done enough.
Now to a new bill that could change the lives of African students in the United Kingdom, but not for the better. Well, joining me now in studio is Anita Nkonge, the BBC's youth reporter. I imagine there have been quite some reactions to that announcement by the UK government?
Yes, a whole bunch of mixed reactions.
For months, I've been investigating a form of blackmail that has become so prevalent in Nigeria that it's got its own name. Keto.
How widespread would you say this blackmail phenomenon known as keto is in Nigeria?
Every week they get about 20 to 30 reports of cases of people saying that they either were close to be blackmailed.
The BBC's Umaru Fofana is in Freetown.
Hardly would anybody have predicted that in our lifetime we would see it lying down like this.
Climate change is here and it's telling us it is here. We have to change our ways, or it is going to teach us a lot of lessons.
The Advertisement Living Water Expedition is a research expedition and also a swim to draw attention to the influx of textiles to Ghana, specifically second-hand clothing waste.
What can the citizens themselves do to protect themselves?
So look at how you can empower the health sector, education and agriculture and the water sector.
It is not that Spain is a racist country, but that they acknowledge that there is a problem of education that must be dealt with.
The BBC's Nyasha Michelle has been talking to the British actress and finding out more about the show.
What would you say to those who are saying it's pushing a particular Afrocentrism narrative?
Why, if there's a possibility that she might have been of biracial heritage, she can't be played by an actress of biracial heritage?
From me and the rest of the Focus on Africa team, it's goodbye.
Hits 103.9 FM, the official mouthpiece of tertiary institutions, brings you the Hits Tertiary Show. Friday, 21st July 2023. The Hits Tertiary Show stops at the Ghana Communications Technology University in Tesano.
Join us as we interact, socialize, and have fun at the Ghana Communications Technology University Tesano on Friday, 21st July 2023 from 2 p.m. live on Hits 103.9 FM. There'll be loads of fun and entertainment as we deliberate on issues bothering students live on radio.
Which tertiary institution do you represent? Watch out for the Hits Tertiary at a campus near you. For enquiries, call 0540-106-467 or 0559-691-797.
Follow us on our social media platforms with the hashtag HitsTech.
I'm at the point in life, if you understand me or not, misunderstand me or not.
And our community.
We are still sounding the alarm for people who are hiding to know that help has come.
The board is supposed to be meeting this morning to deliberate on this nominee.
Yes, this problem has been recurring over time.
The people have invested the fruits of their excellence, and you want to throw it away because you think you can. No, it's not lawful for him to do it, period.
What's the basis that these financial assurances will be giving latest today?
If you follow what had transpired over the week, we got the information when the president addressed the May Day celebration, indicating that China is going to come on board.
Back on the AM show. When you see us like this, then we're about to drop them. Not bombs, but we're about to drop the key issues right here on the show. But before we get into them, before we introduce our members of parliament for the day, let me introduce you to Awake Purified drinking water. In case you've never tried it, it is premium purified water treated through a strict purification process to ensure that every bottle on the market refreshes you better. And if you're looking at the sizes and thinking, what do I do with my kids? What size do I give them? They have 330 ml for you. If you're like me and you want to go for your 500 milliliter or 750 milliliters, they can do that for you. If you're a heavy drinker, 1.5 liters, and you are sorted out. Now, it goes beyond that. You must just stay awake with Awake Purified drinking water, because if you want something even bigger for your office, for your home, they have 19-liter jar bottles, ideal for those situations. So all you have to do now is just go find your Awake Purified drinking water and you're good to go. But here's the heartwarming part for me. For every bottle you purchase, an amount is donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center. We know about heart disease and how expensive the treatment is. Most people cannot afford it. By purchasing a bottle of Awake Purified drinking water, you aid them get treatment. It's another quality product by Casapreco Company Limited. If you'd like to purchase in bulk, just call 0262 351 251 and note this advert is FDA approved. Now, we get into our conversation for the day. We're hosting some members of parliament, of course, from both ends. The last time we called on the MPP, they didn't give us anybody. So it was just a member of parliament for Buem Constituency, Kofi Adams, who was here. But today we have equal representation. Parity has been restored. It almost feels like a boxing match. In the blue corner and in the red corner. Anyway, so on the show this morning, Dr. Dixon Adumaku-Kizi is member of parliament, Anya Sowutuom. I saw him doing some achuche while I was crossing the street, coming back into the studio. He was doing some show skills, Kakra. Welcome aboard, Doc.
Thank you.
We also have the lawmaker for Tamale North, Al-Hassan Suini. He also joins the conversation. Him, I did not see doing achuche. By the time I came back into the studio, he was seated and waiting, to meet Doc. Thank you for coming, Al-Hassan.
Always a pleasure. Why are you exposing my brother?
Oh, but he was doing some. He was showing a few skills, right?
Yeah, but you're also saying that he was late.
No, I never said that, Al-Hassan.
Okay.
I merely said that I saw him doing action.
Okay,
but
no one knew. I was sitting.
In fact, but come to think of it, he's early for the conversation. He wasn't late.
Yeah. For the conversation?
Yes, for the conversation.
He wasn't. This current IGP, based on your words,
no. This wasn't attitude that would lead to any trouble.
I don't want to.
So please,
any speeding tickets.
Dr. Ekufu, don't worry. No attitude that would lead to
no speeding
trouble.
Tickets. Yeah.
All right. So, gentlemen, I mean, there's a whole lot to talk about, national issues, but I always like to start from the constituencies you come from, and I always want to know. And you see, the good thing is your people watch, you especially. they are always anti-eku, then they'll tell you, hey, Masa, this. Yeah. So let's hear from you on that point. But because you mentioned the IGP, I would also I don't think we've interacted with either one of you on the leaked tape and developments so far. So since you've brought that up, I will have both of you have a bite. So start with your constituency. What's afoot? A minute and a half, not too long. I'll start with you, Doc, and then we talk about the IGP situation.
Well, let me use the opportunity to say hello to the Anyaso Tum residents and also many fans. And let me chip in this very important thing. I'll plead with you, be careful who you chat with on Facebook thinking it's me. Because I'm getting a few phone calls that are troublesome from my constituents. So I don't do any monetary transactions by Facebook. So I'll plead with people who are watching. And I think this goes for all members of parliament.
True.
Especially when there's police recruitment, fire service recruitment, military. So a word of caution, whilst I get this opportunity.
So impersonators are out there.
I don't do any monetary transactions on any of the, Twitter, whatever you call it. But so just be mindful of that. Beyond that, I think my constituents are doing well. We've been blessed with the Agenda 111, which means that our health infrastructure is going to be improving over the next couple of years. And I'm very grateful for this administration. At least, if not at all, we've been bequeathed with that. and I can at least boast of that as one of the key things. Beyond that, we have roads and road infrastructural challenges, which I'll continue to push. And may I also use this opportunity to say that the Awoshi-Pokwase main road, I've heard the issues and we're working on it, and hopefully I can keep pushing to get the lights sorted out, because there's been a number of accidents because of bad lighting and traffic light issues.
That stretches a bit, yeah.
And we're also hoping that the footbridges will be done. These are literally...
Footbridges?
Yeah, because it's 5 lanes, and especially at the Odogono Senior High School, where children cross and sometimes get hit by moving vehicles. So it's a worrisome thing, and I want them to know that.
How soon can we expect something? Are you engaged?
Well, they've earmarked 5 points where we need these footbridges, and the only thing keeping us is that one key thing, which is lucre. And I think hopefully once the finances are ready, it'll be done. Right. But I've made it one of our priorities. Okay. Minus Agape Road, minus Aoshi Onyinase. I mean, I have major road issues, and I'm pleading that hopefully Fan Milk will also be sorted out. And thankfully, I have a wonderful municipal chief executive who's also working hard. He's let me say, a local Rambo, in the sense that he's very active and in pushing for things to be done. So during this era, between myself and the MC and all the other brokers, we're working to help push the constituency forward.
Thank you for that. Sometimes I feel a bit of pity for you, not in a negative way. With how big your constituency is and the rounds you have to do. Those with huge constituencies, it becomes problematic. One person, which is why maybe, I don't know, but if you also say that you may need more members of parliament, there'll be a pushback on that.
If you give us the resources.
Some of the constituencies, Volta region, Ashanti region, Greater Accra, they are huge.
If you give us the resources, we can do the work. I mean, that is the thing. It's not about necessarily maybe wanting to split the constituencies, because what would happen is you then be doubling the resources, because if you split mine into 2, you're talking about double the cost.
I get what you mean.
So if governance or government should realign and look at population size dynamics and factor that, because 2 electoral areas is like maybe 2 constituencies in the north, for mine, in terms of population size, not in terms of square meter mileage. So these are some of the things that sometimes government doesn't help, some of us.
And maybe moving forward, I mean, you are lawmakers. Maybe you ought to bring this to the fore in terms of the dynamics and what can be done to
the top 10 highly populated constituencies may need something unusual.
Or maybe even top 20. Maybe even top 20.
Yeah, top 20.
Look at Assignment. I mean, look at, and it's not great. Look at Assignment.
Or even Dome Kwabenya as well. We can't,
too much.
We can't give Dome the same plate you give to Sege. You understand? Or Dingo Pramprami is also big, but looking at the population sizes, and I really think we need to,
I don't know what you think
Central
about that.
Compared to Mui.
I see where you're going.
And Tamale North compared to Salaga North.
Yes.
I mean Tamale South and Yape Kusogo are comparable to the Domi Kwabinyas and others. So I share in that concern that some of the constituencies deserve some, what do you call it, special
dispensation or something.
Yes, when it comes to supporting the members of parliament. I think that is a discussion we can have, except that, I mean, I can just imagine how it's going to get protracted, because, I mean, the votes that, for example, I used to win in my constituency in 2015 primaries within the NDC, there are members of parliament with those votes, like general elections, that's the votes they get. To come to parliament. But I needed that vote to even qualify to stand for my party. So that discussion, it's worth having. But I can just imagine how it's going to be protracted. But you see, the counter argument to it has always been the ability of the assemblies to internally generate funds.
I was even about to get there because you are pseudo agents of development.
Exactly.
You have to play certain goals, which is why we're here.
And that is why I was happy to hear the collaboration he has with his district chief executive. I mean, that is what municipal chief executive, that is what is required. And together, the two can expectedly, because that's the expectation, work to see how you can generate funds internally to support the constituency and, for that matter, the municipality. Because, I mean, the bigger the constituency, the more potential IGF. It has to raise IGF. So we shouldn't discount that also, even as we have this conversation, which I agree is worth having, and especially is worth considering that the larger constituencies.
But when you have Boston constituency, or you have Anglo Gold in your constituency,
it's also
then your IGF is, but when you have residentials, then,
but the residentials, I mean, they also, if they pay their property
rates,
so that's a way you need to do
that. But when Boss does a drop, it's yeah.
So how is
his birthday? That's why I even. And before I forget,
today's whose birthday?
Today is Carlos Ahenkre's birthday.
Okay.
Oh, that's Tema West.
Tema West.
Yes, I almost forgot. Hussein Bolt.
I almost our running MP.
Yeah.
A very happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
Carlos.
happy birthday.
It's interesting because someone is doing something in that constituency, and a few things came up that I heard of recently. Nothing negative. So, Carlos Ahinkra, a very good morning to you. Hopefully, you're not running still. Anyway, so your constituency.
Yes.
Just briefly on that, and then we'll get into the idea.
It's good. Let me also, commend my constituency executives, especially led by the constituency chairman, Alhaji Bao, for the support that I continue to enjoy from them and the hard work they put into ensuring that the constituency feels our presence and the contributions that we are making to the advancement of the constituency in general. I also will want to thank the chiefs and elders, especially our imams, for their support always, their pieces of advice that remain very useful and help to guide us and shape what we do in the constituency. I was there a couple of, I think that was 2 weeks ago, and we had some interesting programs that we did to mark the Eid al-Adha. We had some community games, football especially. And the Balahi community came out tops and they picked the trophy. It was exciting. 3 days gala match, and everyone had fun, and the prizes were also received in good faith. I mean, they're excited about it. We also had a youth forum, where we brought some youth groups together to play some games, just indoor games, and had some party. The celebration of Eid comes with attire in the evening and all that. So it was especially that, it was fun.
But that's interesting. You bring it up. This year, no one gave me meat.
It's the economy. It's the economy. No.
Just when you mentioned meat, I realized
it's the economy.
But my Muslim friend being that person has left, so I think that's part of why this.
It's also the
I didn't get any meat.
Anyway, but what we are faced with currently in the constituency, especially because it's a rainy season, is the flood. The floods, especially in Gumani, in Kalapahini, remain,
Speaking of which, my apologies. Do you have any one village, one dam structures in your constituency?
Well, there was one.
We have a latest hotline documentary on that, so I just wanted to.
There was one that was supposed to be done in full, but it was already an existing dam. Okay. The impression in the community was that they came to expand it, and really it did not make any impact. The whole concept of one village, one dam was to support dry season farming and all of that. But I mean, it was an existing dam that they tried to expand. Another one that they began but could not finish was in the Puntalaga area, you know. So, yeah, those are the two that I'm aware of that efforts were made to construct the 1D, 1V. But we're told by the minister that we should not expect anything better. When we complained. Yeah, I mean, we're told by that. I mean, the amount of money that was allocated to her could not have done anything meaningful. But the point is that we have lost the money, and as a state, we are the losers. But yes, the problem is with the flooding in the area. And I'm happy that at least this year, thanks to Ankara Makwata, we have been able to fix one of the problems, you know, in the constituency. The 4 Taha communities used to sometimes be threatened to be cut or separated due to the flood situation that put the road network between the 2 communities at risk. Fortunately, we have been able to fix the drain this year. It was finished before the rainy season, and at least the 2 communities are short of you know, some smooth transportation across the 2 communities without any difficulty at all. However, the main storm drain still needs to be constructed. Understand in Gumani, a World Bank project that began somewhere in 2007 through to 2009, 2010, up till today is ongoing. It's a major storm drain. It's one of the biggest storm drains that is aimed at improving the drainage system in the Greater Tamale community. So it began under the late Mustafa Ali when he was Member of Parliament, then through to Honorable Abukari Sumani and the NDC. And now it was at a standstill. I have seen some construction work going on there. There's another part in the Gumani area where the drain has almost chopped off the whole road. I mean, and we have been to the urban roads a couple of times. We understand it has now been given to a contractor in San, but you know, because of lack of money, the contractors, and it's the same contractor, by the way, who did the full, you know, bridge. So when he's not able to attend to this, you understand that it's perhaps because he hasn't been given any funds. But all in all, we are doing our best, and we are lobbying for the necessary attention to be paid to the, flood situation in the constituency, especially the 2 areas of Gumani and Kalapahini.
Okay, so we have just about some 55 minutes to deliberate on a plethora of issues of national scope, especially issues emanating from Parliament itself and your work as legislators. So I plead with you that your submissions be straight to the point so that we can have ample time to digest them. But even before we get into those, I would be somewhat remiss. You made a statement recently about land guards and government land being protected by land guards. We've heard from Professor Agbesinyale, and he actually is the chief director, and he says he doesn't even know what land guard means, and that you are totally, I mean, there's nowhere that such a thing is happening. But on what basis did you make such a statement that land guardism in itself is illegal?
Thank you.
So you are suggesting that government, the lands ministry, is engaging in criminality, illegality. What is your basis for this? You have the opportunity here because it appears people did not understand what you said, or you said something that was incorrect. So if you did say something that was not the case, I think you have the opportunity here to clarify. Over to you. Not too much time so we can move on.
No, you see, there was a committee meeting on 10th July in Koforidua, and the chief director appeared before the committee. And at the committee meeting, this land guard issue came up. He was asked about a gentleman known as Jato.
Jato.
And the chief director told the committee that the ministry has a contract with this Jatto to reclaim government lands.
Reclaim government land.
And protect it.
The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources?
No.
Is it the minister? Or
the chief director.
The chief director
said that the ministry has a contract with this Jatto to reclaim government land and protect it. I'm happy you have, in your intro, made the point clear that using a land guard is illegal. Now, the committee was shocked about this revelation, and so we demanded to see the contract. A week plus on, the committee is yet to receive the contract. Now, anybody who does a basic check online about who Jatto is will come to no other conclusion than the fact that he is notoriously known as a land guard. So the chief director didn't have to use the term land guard like he sought to say when he appeared before the Public Accounts Committee. He didn't have to. He told us that the ministry has a contract. And the audio of that interaction is out there. And
but
when he was even
at the
asked,
same Public Accounts Committee sitting, he denies any such engagements with land guards. He in fact says he doesn't even know what land guard landguardism is, or who a land guard is.
Ben, that's what I'm saying.
So are you not taking too much out of what
Ben, that's what I'm saying, that he didn't have to use land guard. He didn't have to understand what land guards do. All he had to do was to give us the information he gave us. That the ministry has a contract. Are you suggesting
that if someone aids another person in land reclamation, it automatically means the person is a land guard?
There are only two institutions that can aid you in land reclamation that I know of. A law firm with the authority of a court.
True.
And the state security. Any other person per Act 999 is a land guard. And the activity is proscribed. So clearly, when we even asked him at the committee meeting why they were not using the state security to do that exercise, that was when he further revealed, which has, however, been denied, that the military and the police also depend on the same gentleman for their lands to be protected. So, for me and members of the committee, all we want is the contract that they have entered into with this gentleman. So we can study the terms and conditions of that contract. But you know what is interesting, Ben? Ever since this issue became a public discussion, there have been a number of inconsistencies from the ministry. The ministry issued a statement signed by the same chief director and made the claim that they have a contract with Enoch Holdings Limited, no longer Jatto, as he said before the committee. But if you check at the Registrar General Department, Jatto is actually a director of Enoch Holdings Limited. So if you want to be charitable, you can say that the ministry has been consistent because Jatto owns Enoch Holdings Limited. But if you want to speak like the lawyers do, you will say that the two are not the same.
And Enoch Holdings Limited, what do they do?
Thank you. I'll get there. So he said they have a contract with Enoch Holdings Limited and that this contract has been in existence since 2012. Take note, since 2012. A check again at the Registrar General's Department shows that Enoch Holdings Limited was registered on 1st September 2014.
Okay, so there's some disparity there.
There's some inconsistency there.
2-year gap.
2-year gap.
That is not...
How could the ministry have been in a contract with a company 2 years before the company was formed? Clearly, there's an inconsistency there. Now, the company, among other things...
Unless there was a name change.
There's no name change.
Unless it was the same company, but there was a name change.
There's no name change. I've checked that at the register. There's no. It was registered Enoch Holdings Limited, 1st September 2014. Commenced business 2nd September 2014. I've checked that. And among other things, this company was to engage in the activity that can be construed to be land guarding. I mean, among other things that they were supposed to be doing. And I can understand, because in 2014, we did not have Act 999.
Okay.
Act 999 was passed in 2019. And it was there that it was clearly stated in Section 7 that any promotion or organization of people to protect a land that belongs to you or any other person is an offense. Mm-hmm. So you cannot at this stage have a company. You can't have a company today in Ghana set up to provide land guard services.
It's illegal. I mean, it's prescribed. You can't even go.
You can't do that. So it is interesting that the ministry is still insisting that they have a contract with a company to do that. Mm. And that is why it is important that we get the contract to study.
So per your checks, what exactly does Enoch Holdings do again? Just to clarify.
Well, they are into construction and other, so many things. But among other things, like I said, they say they are providing land guard services.
They say that.
And you see, in 2014...
On which platform? On which platform?
The Register General Department documents.
It is stated there.
It is stated. But that was in 2014. So in 2014, it could have been illegal.
Right. But post-2019.
Post-20, it cannot be. You can't have a company operating. So maybe the Register General...
that is still on the document.
It's still on the document. Mm. So we will want to know the terms and agree. And look, there are so many inconsistencies. I have also come across a press release issued in 2019 from the same ministry, signed by Abraham Otabil, who was the PRO of the ministry, denying any relationship with this said Jato and his company. 2019.
So now that
when the gentleman was reported in the news to be carrying out an operation on behalf of the ministry, I think around the UPSA area or so, demolishing, people's properties in the name of the state. The ministry in 2019 issued a disclaimer and said they had nothing to do with him. And the same ministry today wants us to believe that they have been working with him since 2012, with his company that in 2012 was not in existence.
So there are questions, there definitely are questions to be answered. But now that there is a pushback, there's a flat denial from the chief director at the Lands Ministry, what then is the next move for you? I mean, if you feel passionately about the issue and you feel indeed the state has engaged in illegality vis-a-vis employing a land guard to, so to speak, reclaim state property, what then is the next move for you? Are you going to court? Are you going to trigger processes in Parliament?
We've not gotten to court yet, but the process in Parliament that is underway is that the committee has demanded the contract, and we have indicated that our report will not be prepared and submitted to the plenary without the contract.
At least that I know.
I have also filed an urgent question. It is quite interesting that this matter is left for the chief director to handle since it started. It's as if to say, Wara Kofaba, carry your thing. You have gone to bring the trouble. Because, he's not the head of the ministry. You've not heard
the lands minister.
There is actually a deputy minister. There's actually a deputy minister in charge of lands. In fact, that deputy minister is supposed to be chairing a committee that is responsible for the reclamation of government lands. And in that committee, interestingly, this same Jato guy is a member representing private sector. Interesting things at the ministry. But nobody at the ministry wants to talk about it because it's as if it was to be a holy secret. And the chief director has gone to open his mouth too wide. So he's the one allowed or left alone to clean his mess. But
so
it is a mess.
You want to hear from...
So I'm saying I have filed an urgent question for the minister to brief the House on this. Because obviously, the chief director is not giving us the answers that we need. So I filed an urgent question for the minister to brief the House on this transaction. I've also written to the Public Procurement Authority under the RTI to find out if they approved for the Ministry or the Lands Commission to engage this company for that exercise.
And I've
also, under the RTI, written to the Lands Commission itself to request for the contract. Yes. So these are the measures taken to ensure
I've not heard you talk about the Registrar General's department, because there's also an issue there. If this still remains as a registered company with Land Guard services, Absolutely. That is the case. Absolutely. I mean, I'm just averting your mind to that. If you've not also thought of that, I think that also ought to be brought up.
Absolutely. It is an angle. You see, I don't want it to seem like I have any issue to do with the private company. I am playing oversight over the public institutions, the government. They are my focus. So I don't want it. If it is an illegally registered company doing an illegal business, that is for the
engaged in illegal legal government.
So my focus is the government, because that's where I'm supposed to provide oversight.
This makes for interesting reading, doesn't it? I mean, if this turns out to be true, then an illegal entity performing an illegal service for a legitimate government, that is curious. I think this will continue now. I think it's a straight fight between you and Prof. on this matter. And
so again, I don't want it to be a fight between me and Prof. It's about me, and it's not a fight. It's about playing oversight. I get it. It's about playing the oversight I'm supposed to play over the ministry. Lands and
right. Any reflections on this? I find it a bit curious.
Well, I think that the only key thing is that a response is being expected from the ministry. And it'll be in writing to the committee, and I think sometimes it's maybe better we wait. I'm sure this would come within 2 weeks, and then I would comment after that, because I don't know their side of the story entirely, and the other thing is people are engaged in multiple businesses, and for all you know, they don't probably provide land guard services anymore. But as it stands, the documents that they presented at the time of registration is what might be in the system. So we'll have to wait and see. But either way, I think.
But from where you sit as a member of Parliament, hearing something like this,
our lands. If government cannot secure his own lands, then we're in trouble as a nation. That is chaotic, and it just shows how indisciplined maybe some of us are in this country, where government will put a notice that you are prohibited from doing
people will still go there.
It's either they can't read.
And we see that happen all the time.
And I find it to be very troubling. And I really think that one way or the other, the rules of engagement have to be very carefully looked at, because if government cannot provide, protect
its own
land, then we're in trouble. And this whole habit of people encroaching on government property is serious.
It's a rampant one.
As we speak.
Rampant one.
There's a huge problem with Pantang Hospital.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And its environment, and the fact that people are encroaching, and somebody goes to court and then somebody else goes to see it. And this is troubling. And I really think that we need to be very clear, and let me plead with judges who handle land litigation. I mean, the sanctity of our democracy is the fact that people have faith in the judiciary system and all the various branches. And I really think that land cases should not be in the bosom of the highest bid,
highest bidder.
And I really think that we need to look at it carefully. And it is about time we make reforms for other new areas. I mean, as it stands now, Accra is finished. I mean, if you, in terms of
Accra,
it's finished. So we need to get it right for the other regions, the eastern, northern, all the other regions, western. We need to get it right, even if we were wrong a decade or several.
We must learn from the mistakes of Accra.
We need to get it right, so that these things must stop.
Right.
And these kings and chiefs and queens who quadruple sell, their lands. I mean, they sell to 3 or 4 people like an airline ticket. It has
sell
to,
airline tickets like that.
No, it's always overbooked. Most of the time, they overbook, and then because some will cancel. Yeah. So I really think that they also need to be careful because it's becoming unbecoming.
It has become a problem already. Thanks for clarifying those matters, and I'm sure if the Chief Director at the Lands Commission is watching, if he has any reactions as well, would love to hear them because it's getting murky right now. And for me, what I cannot even comprehend, not just government dealing with if that turned out to be the case, but the registrar general, I can't wrap my mind around that. Like registered to do a business that is currently illegal. I can't.
We need
as a student of the law, I find that
we need to audit our registrations too. I mean, and these days, I mean, as you know, the things that matter don't matter most of the times in our country, unfortunately.
And it's my senior friend who is there too.
Just a quick one. The way you even spoke about the judges, for us on the committee, what shocked us was how eloquently the Chief Director spoke about the capacity of this gentleman. And
that
how,
is the Jato
gentleman. And how he has his own media on site that helps him to cover up stories, and actually gave us an incident where the Kimbu Senior High School, when the land was encroached and they were to retrieve it for the state, the process led to the killing of 3 people because there was exchange of gunfire. And that didn't become a national discussion because he had his media on site to help cover the story. And that he has members of the Judiciary. Yes, the Chief Director made all these revelations.
Members of the Judiciary doing
who help him when legal matters come up in his
This was
operations.
committee discussion.
This was committee, yeah, of course. It wasn't in camera committee discussion. It was a public sitting.
Can you reiterate what he says about the judges?
Yeah, he didn't use judges. I'm being very careful because of the choose and pick. He said members of the Judiciary, that the guy has members of the Judiciary that he works with. Yes, and he has his own security among the police that he uses. And among the...
This must be a very... if these statements are true, this is a very powerful person.
Exactly. And that is why we need to get to the bottom of it. Look, there's every reason why we must all support the state to reclaim lands and protect lands that are for the state. But it must not be done in a way to promote lawlessness.
How it's done is crucial. I mean, the state enforces the law, but the state cannot, at the same time, breach the law. You cannot pick and choose. So I'm sure in subsequent, bulletins and other programs on this platform, we'll be engaging the Chief Director and maybe the Lands Minister or his deputy, among others, to find out what exactly is going on there. But let's quickly get into the IGP situation, and then from there, I'll go straight to Parliament. We'll focus a lot on what is happening in Parliament. Because you brought it up at the start of the show, I just wanted us to, no more than 2 minutes, gentlemen, with where we've come, leaked tape, initial response from Ambrose Derry, Interior Minister, among others, to this point. I mean, I felt by now we would have some conclusivity to this matter. Is it true? Is it not true? Now, all I'm hearing are whispers here and there, stuff from the grapevine and all of that. For you, where do you sit on this matter? And does it in any way incapacitate the president in terms of ousting, sacking Dr. Ekufu Dampare?
Well, one thing is very obvious. In 2001, or let me use 2002, when Kufuor won, in all honesty, the state machinery was for the NDC. 2008, NPP lost. State machinery was in the hands of
the NPP.
Then fast forward 2016, state machinery was in the NDC, NPP won. So there's one key thing that is very clear here. If you're doing politics and you're dependent on military, police to help you win, you're in trouble. It won't happen. It ain't going to happen. Okay, so I think that no political party should think that they can win an election. In 2016, the gap was so huge that even the blind could see the gap, and EC could not do anything about it. Police service could not do FOCO about it.
Not that they tried.
Well, I'm just saying.
Just to say.
So one thing is very clear from what the Interior Minister said, and I even like more so what local government minister also said. He says that no police can, no security agency can use the authority to change election outcomes, and I believe that. And I think that any serious-minded political machine, be it the MPP or GUM or whatever party it is, if they mean serious business, the power is in the people's hands. And no matter what you do, if whether you have the police on your side or not, it's the people's voice that plays out. I can even cite just quite recent. If you look at the Assin North, if I beg to come out, I'll say that the state machinery was under an MPP regime, but the results spoke, and no policeman. I didn't see one policeman, trying to change pink sheet values. So the police service, I must commend them. Have been very good, very professional in terms of handling election.
But that is exactly the crux of the argument or the discussion we're having, because in that tape, someone says, this IGP, the way he's doing his things, he's doing it, as we say here, to finchim or finchim. Well, if we do this in 2024, we are going to lose. For which reason, we have to find ways and means of making him find the way to the door. That's exactly the point. I'm
one person, and let me state it categorically here, that I don't ever believe in audio tape recordings.
Don't?
I don't ever. In the sense that it can be staged. In the sense that it can be staged.
It can be staged.
Staged.
Okay,
right. Based on my political experience, we can stay here and have a discussion, know very well that we're recording, and it's scripted. And then it goes out and it's quote-unquote leaked to move the public into a certain, discussion or a certain way of thinking. So for me, right off the bat, I can be very blunt in saying that, not all audio tapes are necessarily authentic. And what I mean by authentic is that the players or the people making the recording may deliberately have done this for one other reason or another.
Oh, of course, even when it is authentic, even when the people did or said what they did, you would also want to look at even the person involved who did the recording. Well, and the motive behind it. I mean, that is a secondary matter, but there's always a catch.
I don't believe in audio recordings. That is me. But the other thing too is you asked a very key question. The first gentleman of the land, if I was in his position, if I'm determined to do what I'm determined to do, the audio tapes will be of no use. It will have no bearing on my decision. And IGPs come and go. It's been the case. And at any point in time in politics, once you change IGP, all kinds of commentary comes up. Yeah. There's not been one IGP that has been changed that commentary
it's always been the way.
Something will come up. Yeah. And I think that, whether the NDC or the MPP likes it or not, the president has every right at any point in time, after a hot drink of coffee, decide that, listen, I think based on the many chatters, based on how he feels, he thinks it's time.
I mean, he woke up today and he didn't like the look on the face of the IGP.
Yeah.
He is within his...
He can do a Donald Trump thing,
It's in the remit.
Donald Trump just, he just tweets and says, hey, IGP, time is up.
You're gone.
Or he can even tweet and say who the next IGP is, and literally, that is...
He's there at the behest of the president. It's just a bit of a creation of a bit of an... an uneasy situation for him if he goes ahead, because now it's like, no, hold on, it's a bit like sometimes when the Pharisees and scribes or others went to Jesus. If you answer this way, they'll say ha. If you answer that way, they'll say ha. But I get the point. Professor Kwesi Inning of the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, when I engaged him on this, he said, look, the president shouldn't lose sleep over this. It's his prerogative, and if he wants to sack him, he should sack him. But what's your take on the tape and how far things have come? And do you feel we're giving it enough relevance in terms of dealing with something like this, which in itself has treasonable consequences, if you like?
You know, Ben, I'll start off by saying that if you are a leader and you are afraid of what people will say, then you will do nothing. Because every decision that you make as a leader will be pleasing to some and displeasing to others. No matter what, whether this setting came about, this situation, whether this situation came about or not, if he had removed the IGP, there would have still been talk. If he maintained him, there will be talk. So as a leader, I don't really expect what has happened to influence any decision that was on the table of the president. But having said this, I agree largely with Doc that, look, the power of the people is always greater than the people in power. There are many examples to show, and he gave a few, including what recently happened in Ashanti. I mean, once the people make up their mind and they decide that this is the way they want their country to be governed, no matter the, machinations, the power of the state,
there's practically
that
nothing
you try to abuse.
We saw that in Kumawu as well.
Yes, and even
in
South Africa,
they also decided
yes,
where
in
they
South
wanted
Africa, we saw that. I mean, what didn't the establishment do against the people in South Africa? But in the end, what happened? So it is proven that you cannot use state power to subdue the people's power. But we also should not ignore the threats and if you like, the effects of that abuse. It is not because we think, we should not be concerned about what is happening because we think that the state power can overcome the people's power. But we should be concerned because of the effect. The effect may not be able to overcome the people's power, but the effect can still have dire consequences. Especially when we are coming from an election in 2020, where for the first time since 1992, we had about 5 to 6 people being killed as a result of the election. Some of them dying as a result of bullets fired by the state security. Techiman is an example. So we cannot, even in Greater Accra, we cannot underestimate what has happened. Yes, the state power may not be enough to ensure that the people who are abusing it remain in power, but it may have some of these consequences that we experienced in 2020. And you never know if those consequences will be so close to you as a person, or even you being the victim.
What do you want to? What do you want to see next?
So what we have done now,
what we have
done now, and I'm happy that the Speaker has also agreed to that move to be made, is for a bipartisan probe into this matter. I think the last time the minority leadership raised this issue, the Speaker agreed that a committee should be set up to look into the content of that audio. Because I think that it is scandalous to think that a commissioner of police, not just a mere constable, A commissioner of police.
I mean, take off the IGP.
Is that partisan?
They are next.
Yes. Is that partisan to contemplate, putting a party interest above a national interest?
Which in itself, if proven true, is a national security threat.
It's a national security threat. And that's why some people believe that the problem of this country, the problem we should be solving has become the government in power. Because I think by now the commissioner should have gone.
Anyway, so let's move on from there. It is clear
even before investigations
what your position is. But let me come back to you briefly, because it is your side in Parliament that is engaging in this. As the Daily Guide couches it, NDC plays hide and seek with Parliament. And I say, oh, it is time for Parliament to start saying, yes, we are going to court. And then I hear some of you, after having gone to court, then when business doesn't happen, you come later in the day and you come and sign off. I was present.
That's not true.
And there's also the issue where the speaker has prompted you that, there's a 15-day window.
Yeah.
You can't absent yourself without permission for this. So if you're going to be trooping to court, bear in mind that you could be on the path to losing your seat, or your seat becoming vacant. So all those dynamics are there. Of course, you can be absent with permission as well. But why are you playing hide and seek? Government business is not going on. The last time, I think it was Anodompre who had to make mention of the fact that with you or without you, they would go on. But there were some things the majority side could not bring because he simply didn't have the numbers on the floor of Parliament. Why are you playing this game? It's children that we used to play hide and seek. Why are you playing hide and seek in Parliament?
I appreciate the higher standard that the NDC is always held to. I appreciate it. But you see, we should not lose sight of the fact. That Parliament is more or less about government business.
Yeah.
People get elected into government to do government business. And the floor where government business is done mostly is Parliament. So let us be clear that in this Parliament of the eighth,
eighth Parliament.
The eighth Parliament, in this eighth Parliament, the majority is the NPP. And they have touted it, despite the razor-thin margin. They have touted that they are the majority. And they have 138 members. 138 members. They only need 92 to do business. 92.
But to make decisions,
I'm talking about business, government business. Because many of the reasons why adjournment has happened is because of business, the lack of quorum to do business and not to even take decision. I'm saying they need just 92. In fact, not they. Ghana needs 92 MPs to be present.
And on the majority side alone, you have more than that.
You have 137. 138.
138, actually. 138. They have the extra.
They have the extra number.
They
do. 138. And they just need 92 of them to be present so that Parliament can do business. And yet, when that doesn't happen, the NDC is held responsible. That's why I say,
what are you saying? Are you saying
I appreciate
the majority side in Parliament is being irresponsible because if they really wanted to get business running, they would get it running?
I appreciate the higher standard we are held to. I appreciate it. That the focus is not on those who have gone to campaign to be in government, to do government business. But the focus is on those of us who are just to help them to do government business. So we have simply said that as a result of the government's determination to prosecute our colleague, who, by the way, for the first time in the history of this country, has been elected twice in one, term of Parliament because of this same persecution. We have also decided that we will solidarize with him because we think that the persecution is unnecessary. And they have decided to prosecute him on a daily basis. Not even people who have committed murder. Major Mahama case.
But the court has upheld that and is going to go ahead.
I don't dispute that. I'm just saying that it beats my imagination that the Major Mahama case and the attention that it got from this country is not seeing a daily prosecution. Number one. And the monies people lost and expect the Attorney General to give them justice is not getting a daily trial.
So you feel that
but
Asinov
is so special.
Picking and choosing.
Asinov is so special to them that it has to be daily. We are also saying that the Asinov MP is so special to us that every day we'll be in court with him. Majority of us will be in court with him. So if it is about presence,
the cost of government business.
There
are some things, you made the point about the quorum, but there are some things that if they are to be done will still require your presence in Parliament.
Our presence is a supporting role.
It will still require your presence.
So
whether supporting or not, it will still require your presence.
I'm saying that our presence is a supporting role. And that is why government or governance in a democracy is a give and take thing. It is not a my way or no other way. That is why consensus building is a key feature of every democracy. If you are in government and you are in leadership in a democracy and you don't know these, then you become an elected autocrat and you will suffer the consequences.
Okay. Let me hear from you, Doc, on this matter, so we move to other parliament-related matters.
Well, I'm troubled by...
And we have less than 20 minutes, so I want the answers to be a bit more straight to the point.
Okay, I'm troubled by the current situation in Parliament. And I'm also troubled by the fact that, you know, when discourse and ability to judge is done with, we descend into the gutters. And then beyond the gutters is what we don't like to hear. And I really think that as legislative members, we are supposed to do the right thing, even if it is not in our personal interest.
Right.
Now, I say this, and I'll plead with the general public to hear me out, that the genesis of all of this, somehow there's precedence, whether we like it or not, in terms of other members of parliament who were meted out certain, let me say, justice delivered to certain prior members of parliament. And they would always
Whom are you referencing?
They would always say that
Whom are you referencing? Adamu
Sakande's issue is different. I totally...
And they would rightly spell out some of the differences.
Yes, yes. But my point is that, you know...
There are differences.
There are differences,
shade of difference
yes.
between the two.
But then justice was delivered to him in a very brutal way. And everything about law is about precedent.
Right.
And we need to be very mindful of that. And our actions must be...
But precedent is also based on the similarity in
I agree
cases.
with you.
If it's very distant in terms of the precedent, then in fact it is no precedent at all.
I agree with you, but that is for the public to make judgment. And you know, in some of these instances, even in law, there's room for what public perception is and public opinion. If you don't factor it into your decision making, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yes. So my point here is that, you know, the same group of people, which is the NDC party, which was very firm in trying to make sure that what was law, is now battling the same machinery. And I say this with the greatest of respect for the NDC, and I'm only telling them that, listen, sometimes you ought to examine your actions. Are we telling the rest of the world that when a medical doctor has an issue with the state, all doctors should put down their gloves and go to court and sit in court? Is that what we are sending? Is that the signal? Because I'm troubled by this solidarity, because all doctors, and I speak for doctors because I'm a doctor, all doctors can also do solidarity with a doctor who is sued for malpractice or whatever. We all...
But you would agree with me that if a doctor, a medical doctor, is unfairly treated in a way that is egregious, it is clear to your grouping that this person is being unfairly targeted, it wouldn't be wrong for medical doctors to support that person.
The association would maybe...
No, would it be wrong?
Hear me out. The association may have representatives go and support, but the entire conglomerate of medical doctors will not go and sit in court. And that is the argument I'm making. In that same vein, I think that the NDC or the minority can choose a certain number of them, not necessarily the same people every day in court, but about, maybe 12 members that every day, 12 of our members will go and support Quayson in court. And that would be fair. But this whole, idea of the entire bloc going to court, I beg to differ on that stance. And I will say this on any day that it is a bad strategy, one, in the sense that we have government business to do. And if we require teachers to go to classroom when even one of them has an issue and some of them can go to court, then the same thing should be applied to us members of parliament. We are not above the law.
So are they being irresponsible through this action?
Well, I think any human resource person, or somebody with labor relations or commissions arrangement can tell you that what you're doing is highly unjustified.
Okay.
And I really think, and I'll state this very clearly to Ghanaians, that I'm of the opinion, if I was advising the NDC or the minority, the bold best statement is to say that, listen, we're going to have 20 members or 14 members. We can even take like a committee number, which is usually maybe like 13 or 12.
Right.
To go to court and represent. And that will be rotated, either on a daily basis, backbenchers 6, front benchers 6, whatever.
The way they are doing it,
iteration.
you don't disagree with the tool they are using, but how they are manipulating the tool is your problem.
I mean,
all right.
I think
let's
and also just to end on a very important note, I'm also troubled, rightly so, by the fact that this has been made sort of like a daily court proceeding, and I think that.
And it's being given a political slant.
Now it's being
because
politicized
it's I mean, like he said, not with NAM1, not with even the
well,
issue,
I mean,
and many others. How often would you see this? That's the problem.
There are always superstar cases. Let me put it that way. So I mean, and I've said this countless times that the Supreme Court justices sit on a gazillion cases, but once in a while you have a Michael Jackson case, you understand?
But you still feel uncomfortable with the daily approach.
I feel uncomfortable. And I think that in the interest of even, making sure that you have appropriate information, discovery and all of that, I really think that this is not an election, petition type thing.
Yeah.
And that is just my personal...
All right. Important point you made at the end. Let's quickly look at this as well. Maybe when I pose this in your delivery, you can bring it in. The Speaker himself, coming now to the leadership of Parliament, when it comes to the anti-LGBTQ I++ bill, then Dr. Amanda Odoi put that right through and even cited him for contempt, which I found rather interesting, for allowing the readings to go on in Parliament and all of that. What is your reaction? And on the LGBTQ bill, I mean, when the Speaker posed the question, none of you, should I say, dared to oppose. It would have been interesting, though, to see that. For me, as a student of politics, it would have been interesting to see that, and interesting to see what happens in that person's constituency as well.
You can be famous for the wrong reason.
Well, but that was just me being politically mischievous from the academic standpoint.
Yeah.
But
if I could pick that first, then I will just use the opportunity to.
And we have less than 10 this time,
yes. I'll be brief. I just want my brother to appreciate the position we are taking, and it is entirely right, and it has been done in this country by many organizations showing solidarity for unfairness. Doctors have laid down their tools, even either at hospitals or across the country.
I mean, this one, we don't need to belabor the point. It's one that
but you see, we need to just get some points clear. This is a gentleman who didn't clear himself to stand the elections. He was cleared by the Electoral Commission. He didn't elect himself. The people of Asin North elected him. Yet when he came to Parliament, because of this persecution, he was denied his car loan. He was denied common fund because they were persecuting him and they had already condemned him. Because you see, if you are innocent until proven guilty, you will not be denied these things. But he was denied. They eventually got him out. He went back to the constituency. The people overwhelmingly elected him. And you are not just giving up. Now you make it a daily prosecution so that he will not be able to attend to even Parliament and represent his people. I mean, what crime has he committed? But that's by the way. Now on the LGBTQ thing, I'm happy that the court dismissed the injunction yesterday. I think the Speaker of Parliament has been celebrated by many, and he deserves it for the leadership that he has shown in spearheading the passage of this bill. Only a couple of weeks ago, we had some chiefs from the, I think, Bano region come to, give him a title. And it was so beautiful. He's been invited for the installment later this year. And I think that he should attend that ceremony. And he has actually owned the bill, even more than the members who promoted it, including myself. Because I have been involved, I know the interest level that he has shown in making sure that this bill is passed within the life of this Parliament. And he deserves that commendation. And for anybody to attempt to cite him for contempt, I think was just mischievous.
Okay.
The bill is what it is. It is to protect and, and still our family values as Ghanaians. Right. It is not against anybody. It is not... it's not targeted at
and there have been alterations, some of which we have not seen, but you as members of Parliament are privy to.
Yeah.
Doc?
Yeah. No, I think that, you see, when you're clothed in authority and you adjudicate appropriately, nobody can come after you based on your performance of your duty. And this is what the court literally has just told the people that listen. If I'm a police officer and I arrest you and you take me to court, the law is on my side. And if I'm a lawyer and I take you to court and get you prosecuted, the law is on my side. So at any point in time, when somebody is doing his duty as a member of Parliament or as a speaker, and he does it for the state, you can then take the person to court for doing what he's permitted by law.
Are you merely saying this because you're in Parliament? Because some would also point to you that, wait, there are processes, and even when you are acting in Parliament, clothed with all the power that you have, there are limits. And when you are injuncted, there are certain things you must do and certain consequences you risk if you go contrary to what the other arm of government has stipulated. So it's not a carte blanche.
I mean, let me state, for instance, should we do away with death penalty in this country, in Parliament, there's a process that it will take for the Supreme Court to also add their voice to. Now, here's a case that we've done a decision in Parliament. The Judiciary has not had their chance to eat, taste, swallow, and then talk about it. So then where lies this? So I think she actually, or this person, has rather been premature in taking her case.
Right. Gentlemen, let's wrap with these concerns. 3 concerns. We have about 6 minutes. I'm hoping the 3 concerns, if I give you 3 minutes each, we'll be able to wrap around them. The first has to do with the GTEC versus academic institutions in terms of unaccredited courses. And you are looking at big institutions like my alma mater, the University of Ghana, I'm back there, and the KNUST, among others, and the processes. And we've seen their vice chancellors and others coming to respond to issues. Then there is the issue of the Sky Train and our 2 million Wanamoni, and what is happening to that situation. What is your take? Finally, today's Daily Guide captures Bawumia shoots down Islamic funding propaganda. You know, there's that story about the vice president apparently getting funding from some northern group, the ACF, which has terrorist linkages and all of that. He has come out to roundly denounce that, but it was actually a Nigerian who put this up. One David Humdeyin, a journalist in Nigeria, who put this out. Quick reactions to these matters. So 2.5 minutes. Let's go.
So I made a recommendation when they came that GTEC allows for 5 years before you do a renewal. So any accreditation you have is for 5 years. And I was positive.
And of course, you must start the process about a year before if you know it's running out.
2 years.
If you want to start.
2 years is recommended.
Right.
So I proposed that we look at it and rather extend the 5 years to 10 years.
Okay.
You know, so that they're trying to renew every 5 years can then be down, a bit. It gives the school some leeway, and it gives the professors and teachers.
But that could also have consequences on relevance, because after 5 years, looking at the pace of developments, maybe in 10 years, that program and the way it's being offered may be redundant.
Not necessarily so. I mean, technology has come and gone. The arts and sciences haven't changed much in terms of if you're doing recreational management. What new thing can happen within a decade? So I'm really of the opinion that if they can, GTEC should consider, and Education Ministry should look at it. It's like having a driver's license for 10 years instead of this yearly renewal.
Right.
Looking at the lines and the challenges.
Even now with the yellow card, where you get it for life.
So that is one recommendation that I have, and I think. In fact, looking at the minutes left, I'll leave the rest for him to comment.
You don't want to comment on the SkyTrain?
You said 3 minutes each.
But I want to hear from you.
Well, the SkyTrain, what I've heard, at least perusing some of the things in the media landscape, is that I think after feasibility studies, it's not going to be business-wise, it's not going to be profitable in this country, and everything is driven by profit or sustainability. And if the infrastructure we have in Accra is not going to be able to support it, or Kumasi or Takrady, then why do it? And let me add very much so that in the places where they have SkyTrain, every square meter is like expensive, and they take their space so seriously. I mean, if you look at Japan, getting a driver's license in Japan is almost like 5,000 Ghana cedis, literally. So the circumstances under which people will engage in public transportation is very different from Ghana.
I'm just thinking though, we've not got a ground train system running, and if we did, I feel that is one of the things that would really boost our economy. I mean, I don't know what you would say about that. Why not focus on the ground, which is easier than going to the sky?
No, you'll be surprised that infrastructure-wise, how Accra is set up now, doing grounds might be so difficult. Because
it doesn't necessarily have to be. Look at the connections. Do you know how many people come from the eastern region, for example, and how many more could be coming to Accra to work, and what that would do for business?
If they'll drop them off at Nsawam, I understand. And now with the several carriage way coming to Nsawam, yes, I mean, that can be done.
All right. Yeah. I think we've more than exhausted your 3 minutes. Final take on the three.
I think that on the GTEC matter, I am also a bit worried that these institutions have to renew
every 5 years.
Accreditation every 5 years.
I've also ruminated on that.
I'm wondering what the renewal is all about. Is the focus on IGF, or it is to improve the courses that are run? I mean, if it is to improve the courses that are run, yes, can't we do the 10 years as you have suggested, and some, if you like, elevated monitoring in the 5th year to ensure that certain things standards are still being met and improved upon? I mean, if the purpose is just for standards improvement and all of that, then really, and it's not about IGF. People,
They can even
institutions coming to pay,
increase
the
IGF. People will pay.
They can even increase it. I think so, and people will pay.
They'll be willing to
one-off
pay.
thing for a number of years. Then the monitoring is elevated to ensure that the standards don't come down. I think that is a better approach. On the SkyTrain, I see it as another scam. And sometimes you are...
see the SkyTrain as a
scam? Yes. It's a scam. I mean, otherwise, Ben, how do you have a company without feasibility studies being done? Get the government of Ghana to give it 2 million Ghana cedis as share purchase because they have pitched the thing so well to you. I mean, I can't understand. I am sitting in government. You've come to pitch an idea of SkyTrains to me. You have not even done the feasibility studies, but you have told me I can buy shares in the business. And then I give you 2 million. What else is this if not a scam? How do the scammers operate? In fact, you just spoke about the situation we all face as MPs. They usually will offer you something that looks so lucrative and tell you to pay something. And then you pay and they vanish. The Facebook scammers.
Identity.
Yes. So that's why, and you see, sometimes you are tempted to believe that the people who are in charge are too smart not to see through some of these things. And so you are tempted to believe that they do it deliberately. And I can give you examples. We're told that this SkyTrain was not going to cost us anything. It was a BOT arrangement. Even before feasibility, it's already cost us $2 million. We're told the National Cathedral will not cost us anything beyond just providing land.
We're talking about SkyTrain here.
I'm talking about scams.
Okay.
We talked about the National Cathedral. We're told it will not cost us anything except the land. Today, it's cost us hundreds of millions of Ghana cedis.
Right.
And all we have is a hole on the ground. Crawl. Domelevo.
Right.
Auditor General found out 1 million was paid for, no work done. I mean, the list can go on and on. So you are tempted to believe that it is the way it is because people are deliberately setting up these scams to benefit from it.
All right. Gentlemen.
Otherwise, they are too smart not to see through some of these transactions. And as for Dr. Bawumia Ofui.
What?
Yeah, sorry. There was an Ofui word that was used by this.
No. You can't
do this.
I don't think.
It's a damage.
He's the vice president of the country.
I beg of you.
He's the vice president.
As for the O word, please.
I don't know the meaning, honestly. I just find it.
You don't know the meaning.
Honestly, I find it very interesting.
You don't know the meaning.
What is the meaning?
We shouldn't do that.
No.
What's the meaning of?
I beg you. He's the vice president of the country.
What's the meaning of Ofui? Honestly,
whatever Fifi Banson said, if it were in good taste, he wouldn't have been taken off.
He is our vice president.
Don't repeat it.
He is our vice president, please.
So would you take?
So knowing that it has a negative context, would you take it back?
Please take it back.
I want to understand it. Honestly, if I do them,
it's negative. So just take it back.
In which way? No, it depends. You see, something can be negative but not insulting. Like incompetent is negative, but it's not insulting.
Honorable.
You can understand.
Honorable. So
incompetent.
You take it back.
It's negative, but it's not insulting. So I want to know the meaning.
Take it back.
All right.
No. I want to know the meaning.
So, gentlemen, thank you very much. The lawmaker for Tamale North, Alhassan Sueni, joined the conversation. We also had the lawmaker for Anya Sowutuom, Dr. Dixon Aduma Kokisi, both of them joining the conversation. But we've just kickstarted the conversation on GTech, just from a minute end from here. But coming up next, we're going full Monty on that. The GTech versus our major institutions in this country. What is the way forward? That conversation still to come on the AM show. Do stay.
Everything has a meaning. If you recklessly and maliciously destroy reputations, you must suffer the lawful consequences.
For every story, there are many versions of what is true.
If you compare last year, which is 2,589 deaths, added to this year, we've already passed 3,000 deaths in 15 months.
Every opinion can be debated. The political construct of the national interest can be interrogated.
You cannot call for abolition of the Fourth Republic in the name of seeking constitutional reform.
But some facts are hidden in the depths of interpretation.
It's Al Maktoum Father Christmas that he'll give you vaccines 20,000 and not receive payment.
So we check the facts.
The truth is that we are in the third wave. I don't think we should kid ourselves that, oh, maybe it's about coming in and all that. It is here.
Raise the standards of intellectual discourse and present the issues on the altar of unbiased scrutiny. This altar is Newsfile, your most authoritative news analysis program.
We must practice independent, credible, and fearless journalism.
Newsfile with Samson Ladia Yenine.
Hits 103.9 FM, the official mouthpiece of tertiary institutions, brings you the Hits Tertiary Show. Friday, 21st July 2023. The Hits Tertiary Show stops at the Ghana Communications Technology University in Tesano.
Join us as we interact, socialize, and have fun at the Ghana Communications Technology University Tesano. Friday, 21st July 2023 from 2 p.m. live on Hits 103.9 FM. There'll be loads of fun and entertainment as we deliberate on issues bothering students live on radio.
Which tertiary institution do you represent? Watch out for the Hits Tertiary at a campus near you. For enquiries, call 0540-106-467 or 0559-691-797.
Follow us on our social media platforms with the hashtag Hits Tertiary. Hits Tertiary Radio Show is brought to you by Hits 103.9 FM and partnered by the Ghana Communications Technology University. Sponsors: Access Bank, More Than Banking, Unidos Long Love Condoms. Certain moments should last longer. Niche Confectionery, a taste of Ghana.
Hello, good morning to you. Thank you so much for staying here on the AM show. I'm Bernice Abube Dulansa, and what a conversation it was there with those members of Parliament. Well, I know you may have a lot to say, hopefully much later. We can engage you. But it's now time to let you know what's going to happen this Saturday. It's going to be a huge event. It's the finale of cues and lyrics, and you know how we started it here, helping you understand the concept and running you through till this point. It started with 12 contestants and now we are down to 5. Today I have 2 of the finalists with me, Tragan and TM Music, and Tragan looking all Afrocentric, and I like that. I like that. It's that's your brand, right? Okay. So what's your genre of music? Your preferred genre of music?
Preferred genre. Well, it's debatable, but alternative is what it looks like I'm fitting into. So.
Okay. What about you, TM music?
Mine is soul.
Soul. Oh, I like that. So he came along with his guitar. So we're going to be hearing something very soon from the two of them. But before we hear you sing, though, let me start with you, Troygan. How has the journey been?
Like I said yesterday to Doreen, it's really been like sharp curves of learning, opportunity for me to like really chase those frenzy creative intuitions that I already have. So yeah, it's really been revealing, educative, informative, fun, and challenging.
All right. And TM, what has it been like for you?
So it's been educative, fun, as you said, and our ups and downs.
Yeah.
But we've learned a lot. Yeah, we've learned a lot.
So what have you learned that you didn't know before?
I'm Eugene, like Stone Boy, all our big artists out there in our country that have been performing live.
Tell me about it.
It's, you know, like when you're on stage. For me, I mean, I do sing at church, but this is like you are in control. You're not in the background. You are in control of the song.
Yeah.
Every note, emotions to be expressed, and connecting, breaking the fourth wall, controlling yourself, like looking at the judge's face and not being distracted by that.
Yeah,
you
right.
know, because
sometimes they're not getting the vibes. You know, they're very,
or they're just processing what they are watching.
Face. Yeah.
But then you have to make sure to let that not affect you and just move on in the emotions of the song you're trying to communicate. It's wow.
So that has been it for you.
That's just one.
Okay. All right. So TM, what has it been?
Okay. So me, I was lacking stagecraft.
Okay.
Yeah, I was lacking stagecraft, but through the process, I'm getting to know myself and then getting to know the kind of person I am in the music industry.
I like that. I like that. Great. So it's the big final on Saturday. I'm going to put you on the spot. TM, if you don't win, who do you think will win? You can choose not to answer.
I'm winning. Like, if I'm not winning, no one is winning.
Okay.
I see. Okay.
All right. What about you, Troygan?
Your bubble. I'm just All
right.
Anyway, for me, I believe that if I have gotten this far, I'm already a winner.
Right.
I don't know for you guys, but I believe that you guys also feel the same because it's really been a journey.
Yeah.
So for us to have pulled through this far, we're already winners. But I mean,
you're gonna win it. Okay, right. Has there been any point in the competition that you felt like, it was the lowest moment for you, or any point where you felt like you were going to be evicted?
Oh yes.
When was that?
That was the day I did Tenny's case. It was the definition of a mess.
Why do you say it was a mess? Which one?
Yes, I don't know where to start from. Probably let's start from the song selection and maybe, I don't know, my emotional...
I have always wondered. I love music, so I watch a lot of these reality shows. Do you get to choose the music yourself, or is the music choosing for you as a form of a challenge? Like, how exactly does it happen?
Sometimes it is chosen, but for most cases in this maiden edition of Cues and Lyrics, we have had the opportunity to choose it ourselves.
So so you think it was a bad choice?
It probably was a bad song choice for me, and I don't know what.
You didn't feel that way until the final day, until the rehearsal, right? You had snippets of.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have probably followed my intuition from the start.
Okay, and you were almost evicted.
Yeah, I was. I think the following week I was at the bottom two with TZ. ITZ.
All right, and what was the lowest music moment for you, TM? Sorry.
The day I performed Stoneboy.
You too.
but which of Stoneboy's music was that?
Tomorrow.
Which one is that?
Hustling from Choco to Mamplo. Okay. Yeah. And then I realized anytime I get bad comments, the following week We are killing it.
Okay, so you were motivated.
So actually my lowest point motivates me to do more.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were also almost evicted?
Yeah. Not that, but to me, I thought I would be evicted.
All right, but you didn't come that close. Okay, so your favorite performance so far in the competition?
Oh my God.
Wow, that's hard.
Then it means you've had a lot of favorite moments.
Yes.
Okay.
I will start with the very first day I stepped foot on Cues and Lyrics stage.
Okay, which was the audition?
No. Okay, we can
like
add
the
audition,
live.
but like the,
okay,
the
you're
live.
talking about the live
Yes,
performances.
yes, the very first, the group one.
The group one.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I came in, I did come in.
Okay.
Yes, and then the second performance, that was the very first solo performance, and then the second solo performance.
Okay, what song was that?
The first one I sang, Asha's Be My Man. Hi Asha, if you ever see this.
Okay. So I get a sense that you're that kind of a singer, right? You like,
yes.
That's your flow.
That's my forte.
So it's okay, it fits who you are.
Yes.
But when we take you outside of your comfort zone, you struggle a bit.
It depends on where you are putting me at.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let me put you on the spot. Do that song by Asha that you love so much.
Can you play it?
Okay, unless I listen to it.
Okay, well.
Okay. My mama used to tell me, girl, it ain't that cool to see a man you love and start to act the fool. But tell me what a girl in love's supposed to do. Tonight I'm breaking mama's rule. Oh, baby, there's a lot of things I want to say. I'm in love with you, it's driving me insane. But tell me. Where's the
Okay, all right, that's okay, that's cool. So, TM, yeah, I see you've got your guitar there.
Yeah.
Your favorite live performance, can you replicate it?
So,
No, pick up your guitar.
Okay.
It's not there. I want you to play something, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
All right. Many things I like to say. 1,000 years wouldn't be enough. You brought me out of the murky clay and took away my sins. Lord, you've been my everything. Everything I do is you. I'm in love with you. And you I live, in you I breathe. There is no me without you. You precious Lord. I can't stop loving you. You're my everything. I can't stop loving you. You bring melody to my
Woo! He took us to church, didn't he? Wow. All right, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. Okay, so this is a gospel song, is it?
Yeah, it's a gospel song.
Okay, so you mentioned that you sing in church. You sing in church as well?
Yeah.
Ah, all the church people, yeah. What has it been like with your church reacting to?
Oh, it's been, they already know me like that. Like, they know me, I'm the artsy kind of
creative,
vibe, creative person. So they were just excited about it. They're always excited about it.
Okay, shout out to your church and
yes,
your director.
Pop City Church, Accra.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. And what about you?
With my church, they've been supporting me since day one. When I started music, they've been supporting me. Shout out to my church, Christian Prayer CME.
Okay. All right. I mean, this is going to be exciting, guys. And I can already tell that it's going to be quite a competition, even on the finale, because everybody's going to bring their A game.
Yeah.
Right? You are hoping to win. But like she said, you've come this far. I just want to know what the future looks like for you. What are your aspirations? What are your hopes beyond cues and lyrics?
For me, I'm never giving up.
Right.
Yeah. For me, I'm not giving up. I've been to how many reality shows?
6.
6. This is the sixth one.
I actually know it now.
This is the 6th reality show. So that shows that I'm not ready to give up. And after the show, there's a lot of projects coming your way. I'm actually working on some projects, and before December, I'll have like 2 or 3 singles out with videos.
That's nice. That's nice. So look, you had it first here on Joy News. TM Music is planning to bring you some good music by the close of this year, and so be on the lookout for it.
We'll be celebrating Kwame Nkrumah. I have a song dedicated to.
That's nice.
Actually, I'll be performing it too. So.
On Saturday. Yeah. What about you?
On Saturday.
On Saturday.
Okay. All right. For me, beyond cues and lyrics, I don't know. Cues and lyrics has sort of like brought me back to one of my first loves, which is music. Well, the backstory to that is just a long story, so I won't even go into it. But I see myself really like learning, going back to being a student of music, learning, you know, the theories for the piano, the guitar, immersing myself in contemporary dance because I really want to get into that once and for all.
Okay.
Polishing my writing because I am a poet and I am a writer. No matter what I do to myself in terms of
sorry, don't worry.
in terms of procrastinating, I am still a writer, and so I'll get to it.
All right.
And obviously,
it's an era of writing now, so you must flow.
Yes. And yeah, just pursuing all these dreams that I've had. I mean, look at me. I want to also be a jeweler.
Okay.
With my own jewelry.
You just want to immerse yourself in everything that you want to do.
And just be a positive addition to the society of humanity.
All right. So where do we find you? How do we contact you? Because you've asked us to be on the lookout. You as well. You've asked us to be on the lookout. So how do people connect with you on all the social media platforms? Let me start with you, Traygan.
Okay. So on all the social media or TRAYGAN _ TRAYGAN _. So _Traygan _ on Instagram.
So the underscore is before and after?
Yes.
_Traygan _
On Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads. Hi, Threads. Yeah, everywhere, Traygan.
Okay.
Facebook is Tracy Hagan. Yeah.
Okay. So you can find her on these platforms.
Okay.
And TM?
So mine is TM _ music.
Okay.
Yeah. For every social media.
Okay, Facebook, Instagram. Are you on Threads as well?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody.
Oh, yeah, let's come on. I was a class professor.
Okay, all right, okay. I can, and I also like the way, I must say, I see you guys relate. It's beautiful. Because just yesterday, there was a conversation about love in the industry, and that some people were having that at Charmstone, and how sometimes it appears that we allow competition to overtake our sense of togetherness.
When there's actually no competition, it's an illusion. Because everybody is unique in their own way. Everybody has their unique audience. Everybody's bringing out something that is directed to somebody's problem, somebody's, I don't know, somebody's something in somebody's life. So it's definitely not a competition. It shouldn't be seen like that. Healthy, yes, but
yeah. I like that. I like that. I like your vibe. I like your vibe. So just run us through when this is happening.
Okay.
Wow, the prize is amazing. 20,000 CDs, an all expenses paid trip to Dubai, and a recording deal. Woo.
Wow.
That's a sweet one. Okay, the way I see that you love yourselves, I'm sure that if you get it, you give her some of the money. And
remember, the Lord is watching you.
Oh, my sister, remember, the Lord is watching you.
All right, so when is this happening, and how can everyone watching be a part?
All right, so it's happening on the 22nd, this Saturday, the 22nd of July, 2023, obviously. At Silicon House Production. What's the time?
8 p.m.
But the gates open at 7 p.m., so live audience, please do take note. And what should they expect? I think I'm taking it from you now.
No, it's okay. I like your vibe. Have fun.
They should actually expect good music, educative lyrics, and and they should come and enjoy themselves.
Yes, a lot of originality that night, creativity. Hopefully the nerves do not interfere, no.
All right.
So you have to come, to come and support us.
All right, so while I wrap up, I'd like the two of you do a song together. I try and see how you guys can harmonize and give us something beautiful to wrap up. So yeah, that's been my conversation with Traygan and TM Music. They are finalists of the maiden edition of Cues and Lyrics on Joy Prime. It's been an exciting ride for them. We started with 12 contestants, and there are now 5 of them. And the final, like they said, is happening this Saturday at the Silicon Production House. Gates open at 7 p.m., but the actual event starts at 8 p.m. If you cannot be there for any reason, you can catch up on social media, on Facebook. Joy Prime will be showing that. And well, so are we settled now, guys? Are you giving us something to wrap up the conversation?
Yeah.
All right, so I leave you with Tragan and Tia music.
Made the way. Don't know how, but you did it. Standing here, and knowing how we'll get through this test, but holding on to faith you know best. Nothing can catch you by surprise. You've got this figured out. Watching us now, yeah.
It's when it looked as if we can swim.
You represent.
You represent your arms in your stepping.
Everything we need.
Everything we need you supply. You've got this in control. Now we know that you made a way. When our backs were against the wall, and it looked the same, it was over. Lord, you made a way. And we're standing here only because you made a way. You move mountains, yeah. You cause walls to fall with your power. You perform miracles. There is nothing, yeah, that's impossible. And we're standing here only because you made a way. Don't know how.
News is important. It's the only way you get to know the things that happen around you, what affects you today and the future. At JoyNews, we have reporters scattered around the country who tell us about the communities they live in, the people and their stories. The key part of our job here at JoyNews is to make clearer the muffled voices in every part of society. We shine light on the issues. My name is Aisha Ibrahim, and this is JoyNews. Independent, credible, and fearless.
Thanks for joining us on Focus on Africa. I'm Waihiga Mwaura.
This is a covert operation on the hunt to catch a criminal.
We've been here for nearly a week, and this camp seems to grow every day.
The nightmare of hyperinflation has haunted Zimbabwe for over 20 years now.
Why is racism seemingly such a hard nut to crack for La Liga?
I think they are the first to say that they have not done enough.
Now to a new bill that could change the lives of African students in the United Kingdom, but not for the better. Well, joining me now in studio is Anita Nkonge, the BBC's youth reporter. I imagine there have been quite some reactions to that announcement by the UK government?
Yes, a whole bunch of mixed reactions.
For months, I've been investigating a form of blackmail that has become so prevalent in Nigeria that it's got its own name. Keto.
How widespread would you say this blackmail phenomenon known as keto is in Nigeria.
Every week they get about 20 to 30 reports of cases of people saying that they either were close to be blackmailed.
The BBC's Umaru Fofana is in Freetown.
Hardly would anybody have predicted that in our lifetime we would see it lying down like this.
Climate change is here, and it's still, it is here. We have to change our ways, or it is going to teach us a lot of lessons.
The Advertisement Living Water Expedition is a research expedition and also a swim to draw attention to the influx of textiles to Ghana, specifically second-hand clothing waste.
What can the citizens themselves do to protect themselves?
So look at how you can empower the health sector, education and agriculture and the water sector.
It is not that Spain is a racist country, but that they acknowledge that there is a problem of education that must be dealt with.
The BBC's Nyasha Michelle has been talking to the British actress and finding out more about the show.
What would you say to those who are saying it's pushing a particular Afrocentrism narrative?
Why, if there's a possibility that she might have been of biracial heritage, she can't be played by an actress of biracial heritage?
From me and the rest of the Focus on Africa team, it's goodbye.
It is March 2023. Flood water has forced the collapse of a building here at New Botiano. 2 children, 9 and 11 years, were swept away. They died. Their mother, Nanama, sits on the floor inconsolable after the disaster. After the collapse of the building, Nanama relocated from New Botiano. She never wanted to have anything to do with this community again.
Oh, you're from Ransford.
Ransford, yeah.
Ransford Ebenezer.
I've met 18-year-old Ransford Ebenezer Chum. The 2 children were his friends. He says he was traumatized for days.
No, we are 3. Penini Ketwa.
There were 3 siblings. The little one was rescued, but the 2 of them died. Their parents have not relocated. The flood water first caused the collapse of their building. The water swept away one of them, and the other one tried to rescue her, but the 2 died. They were swept away by the flood water.
Not too far from Naname's house is another house which is virtually hanging.
Residents here tell me that a pregnant woman used to live in this house, and she also used the ladder anytime she wants to get access to her home or step out to go to town. Nana Kwame and Alex have been living here for the past 2 years. This is how they do it all the time. It's always a risky journey to get to their home, and they tell me that it's terrifying when it starts raining, and they always have to wait for the rain to subside
before they come out. Okay. How long have you been staying here?
I'm staying for 2
years.
years.
The man who lives here, Nanayaw Ishen, he says the only way to access his residence is with the help of a ladder which sits about 10 feet deep into the belly of the earth, and massive erosion caused by continuous flooding in the new Botiano community has left roads impassable and structures on the verge of collapse. Nanayaw Wisdom Eshen moved into the hanging house with his brother Alex Nana Benyin after the owner was forced by the situation to relocate with his family. Nanayaw says he has had many near-death experiences living in the house, but says he does not have the means to rent another place.
It's very, very dangerous. When the rain is falling, hard one or heavy one, and you come and stand here, even here, you listen, the flow, because there's very huge rain passes through here, so it's very, very dangerous.
Yeah. So why don't you move out of this place? Or you don't have any other place?
No, I don't have any other place because I'm here for a work, or I'm learning a work, so I'm young to rent a house or do something else. So here is the choice I want to.
Okay. Okay, shit.
Yeah.
So without a ladder, can you come to the house and get out without a ladder?
No, without the ladder, I won't come out. I can't come out.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if someone comes to remove the ladder one day?
Then I will stay here till when I get a new ladder. I want them to come and fix it for us, especially me, because there is a big house here, and if you can't climb this ladder, you can't get in. So I want them to come and do something for us.
Nanayaw's brother, Alex Nana Benyin, says the flood is not only destroying their building, it is also destroying properties, roads, and claiming lives.
We are scared anytime it rains, but we have no option. Anytime it rains, you will hear the earth trembling and shaking. They shouldn't wait until any catastrophe strikes before they decide to take action. They should deal with the problem now.
Because of
recently, the torrential rains here killed 2 children, just some meters away from where we live. The floodwater from here destroyed their structure, and city authorities were here, but they did not do anything about the situation. We are really suffering here. The entire community is suffering. The floodwater from here goes all the way to Botiano Junction, SCC Junction, and around Atala.
Here at the new Botiano taxi station, many of the drivers are worried about the state of the roads. They say the rains have caused deep gullies on them, leaving the roads impassable. General Secretary of the Taxi Union, Emmanuel Adopreko, is appealing to government to fix the situation.
It's erosion, and before it wasn't a lot. Before, the whole place was bush. When it rains, during that time, the soil can absorb the water, but now they are building their houses. They have transferred everything, their waterways, everything to the main road. So now is the rain and the main, their risk, which is spoiling the road now. When they're going to do something, because we are part of Accra. Then even though at times when we ask them, they said this place is not in the government schedule that they are coming to do the road, but we are paying to the government. So once people are living here, those over here, let me guess, they can even more than be 5,000 plus or something like that.
The situation at New Botiano does not only pose a challenge to residents, but persons who use the Accra-Takoradi Highway. The flood water and silt from the community and other parts of the Weja-Kaswa Ridge are dumped on portions of the highway, resulting in bumper-to-bumper traffic. A resident, Eric Jano, says until authorities deal with the problem from the source, residents of New Botiano and persons who use the Accra-Takoradi Highway will continue to endure the floods of trauma.
Everything has a meaning.
If you recklessly and maliciously destroy reputations, you must suffer the lawful consequences.
For every story, there are many versions of what is true.
If you compare last year, which is 2,589 deaths, added to this year, we've already passed 3,000 deaths in 15 months.
Every opinion can be debated. The political construct of the national interest can be interrogated.
You cannot call for abolition of the Fourth Republic in the name of seeking constitutional reform.
But some facts are hidden in the depths of interpretation.
It's Almatum Father Christmas that he'll give you vaccines 20,000 and not receive payment.
So we check the facts.
The truth is that we are in the third wave. I don't think we should kid ourselves that, oh, maybe it's about coming in and all that. It is here.
Raise the standards of intellectual discourse and present the issues on the altar of unbiased scrutiny. This altar is Newsfile, your most authoritative news analysis program.
We must practice independent, credible, and fearless journalism.
Newsfile with Samson Ladi Ayenine.
Imagine a family without a home. Imagine a song without a voice. Imagine a church without prayers. Imagine a government without citizens. Imagine democracy without journalists. Imagine a world without the media. Life is full of issues and stories about people, communities, and governments. Stories that have to be told by well-trained journalists. That's why you can't imagine news without JoyNews.
Thanks for joining us on Focus on Africa. I'm Waihiga Mwaura.
This is a covert operation on the hunt to catch a criminal.
We've been here for nearly a week and this camp seems to grow every day.
The nightmare of hyperinflation has haunted Zimbabwe for over 20 years now.
Why is racism seemingly such a hard nut to crack for La Liga?
I think they are the first to say that they have not done enough.
Now to a new bill that could change the lives of African students in the United Kingdom, but not for the better. Well, joining me now in studio is Anita Nkonge, the BBC's youth reporter. I imagine there have been quite some reactions to that announcement by the UK government?
Yes, a whole bunch of mixed reactions.
For months, I've been investigating a form of blackmail that has become so prevalent in Nigeria that it's got its own name: Keto.
How widespread would you say this blackmail phenomenon known as Keto is in Nigeria?
Every week they get about 20 to 30 reports of cases of people saying that they either were close to be blackmailed.
The BBC's Umaru Fofana is in Freetown.
Hardly would anybody have predicted that in our lifetime we would see it lying down like this.
Climate change is here, and it's telling us it is here. We have to change our ways, or it is going to teach us a lot of lessons.
The Advertisement Living Water Expedition is a research expedition and also a swim to draw attention to the influx of textiles to Ghana, specifically second-hand clothing waste.
What can the citizens themselves do to protect themselves?
So look at how you can empower the health sector, education and agriculture and the water sector.
It is not that Spain is a racist country, but that they acknowledge that there is a problem of education that must be dealt with.
The BBC's Nyasha Michelle has been talking to the British actress and finding out more about the show.
What would you say to those who are saying it's pushing a particular Afrocentrism narrative?
Why, if there's a possibility that she might have been of biracial heritage, she can't be played by an actress of biracial heritage?
From me and the rest of the Focus on Africa team, it's goodbye.
Thank you so much for staying on the AM show. That was a good point to go and breathe and take some water. But it's now time to share a very interesting conversation with you. And it's on Carnival. It's a one-year fun, social and reading campaign to address a literacy problem, right, which stems from the inability of many young people to read. Now, reading is fun, it leads to success, and everyone should read. And this program is put together, Carnival, which is that one-year program, is put together by Pebby Cups Library Services in partnership with UNESCO, and this is in relation to the Accra World Book Capital. You know that Accra is the World Book Capital for 2023, thankfully. I've been joined by Anyele Pebby, who is CEO of Pebby Cups, and also Adjoa Ampoma. She is the Senior Brands and Comms Associate of the same organization. It's a pleasure to have you here, and I like your smiles and your yellow shirts. They're very colorful. So let's start off with Pebby Cups, right? What do you do? Who are you? And what services do you render? Let me start with you, Anyele.
So first of all, a big thank you to you and to Joy for hosting us on your platform. We're very grateful. Pebby Cups offers a fun, evidence-based, cost-effective literacy program that empowers children to succeed by becoming excellent readers. Right. And so we do this through a platform we have, a reading platform that enables children's reading level to be measured, and then we give them books according to their interests. We engage them in a lot of fun activities for them to love reading. Right. Because we do this because we realize that one of the fundamental root causes of low literacy in Ghana is that children don't find reading to be exciting. It's seen as a chore, as a bore, as a punishment. And so we change the story when it comes to reading, make it fun, make it something exciting, and make it something which they end up getting used to doing.
Right. Let me come to you, Adjoa. Tell us more about what your objectives, goals are, and especially your target audience, because you just said children, but you know, how low do you go and how high do you stay? What's your range of ages that you work with?
Okay, so I would first start with our goals and our objectives from PEBICAP, then run us through to Carnival. So with our goals at where PEBICAPs is to see every family successful through a vibrant culture of reading. So basically that is what we want. And at the end of the one-year program for Carnival, we want to get to society with a message that reading is fun, reading is success, and also it's fun. Everyone should read. That is the main message we are putting across and what we want to achieve at the end. And with our target audience too, it is actually for the general society because it's a societal problem, as Mrs. Pebi said. It's a societal problem. So we want to indulge or engage everyone to cultivate the habit of reading. But our main focus and our target is between the school-growing children of the ages from 6 to 14.
Okay.
Those are our targets.
6 to 14.
Yes, we want to nurture them to have that habit of reading, and most especially the joy and the fun that comes with it, so that it can become part and parcel of them for them to succeed.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, so you've clearly espoused and told us why you decided to do this, because you believe that there's a strong link between success and your ability to read and comprehend, right? But just run us through Carnival, right? And what your exact program outline is going to look like. I hear there's something called bus stops.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Yes, so Carnival is a really fun social service campaign to get children to love reading. It comes from the Ghana word kani, which means to read, and the English word carnival, which is like a traveling fun fair, fun and excitement. So Carnival is a fun fair centered around reading. Okay. Wherever Carnival goes to, we bring the fun to reading. First of all, you read and make sure we monitor your reading. You actually have to pass book quizzes, but then you get points when you do. And those points are redeemed for fun activities like going on a bouncy castle, eating some popcorn, face painting, arts and crafts, and so on and so forth. So Carnival was launched on the 11th of May at Alpha Beta School in Dansoman. Okay. And then from there, we went to the Carnival bus stop, bus to a community, Amrahia. And then from there, we went to Kwabenya and Adjungano. In private schools, making stops in private schools, but also engaging the community around the private schools by interviewing the bean seller and the mechanic and getting them to read. And now we are going to our first public school, Dansoman B cluster of schools. We are very excited to be there next week. So from Monday to Friday, excluding Tuesday, we'll be there to bring the fun to reading, to engage the whole community, the children, the parents, the Asafoche, community leaders, the teachers, to engage the whole community, but also to make the children have a lot of fun with reading. That come the end of next week, the children in Dansoman Cluster B schools will know that reading is fun.
So you're there for a whole week?
A whole week.
Oh, that's a really long time.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know that you will make some good impact there, at least for 1 week. So, I mean, this is interesting, and I'm very happy with the Carnival. Now you've explained what Cani really means. It makes more sense to me. You've told us that this will run for a year, right?
Yes.
But how do people contact you? Maybe there may be a school owner watching us, or maybe somebody who brings young people together to do this, but not on the scale at which you're working at. So how do they contact you? Where can we find you?
Okay. So they can reach us on our social media handles, and they can also reach us on our phone number 055-2477-243. And we will be quick to pick up the call. Any school that wants to engage their children to love reading, we are very willing to partner them to bring their fun to reading and the excellence to reading. Because as you said, it's not just a link, it's a very strong research finding that the love for reading is a stronger indicator of a child's success in school and the future than even their parents' level of education or socioeconomic status. So the more children love reading, the better they do in school. And so we really want to see this happening, not just in certain communities, but across board, across Ghana.
I'd like you to go over the number again. So if somebody missed it, we can get it.
055 2477 243. Yes, so we are open to hearing from schools that want to see their children excel through reading.
Fantastic. All right, let me come to you. So beyond Dansoman, what next? where are you stopping next?
Okay, so actually because it's a whole one-year program, we have a lot of school or a number of schools aligned that we'll be going to. And we just want to say also that it's not just limited to the school, just for the public sake, it's for all and sundry, or it's for everyone, because during this one-year period, we have a lot of activities lined up. In fact, during the literacy month in September, we are mounting our canopies with our full digital setup there to have the market women read, influencers that we work with read. Nice. In fact, the senior lions, or let's say the lions that we deal with, that's grown-up adults, people of influence in our society and all that, we'll have them read, and then everyone will read. So
you're lions because you are the cubs.
Exactly, exactly. So we'll have everyone come on board, read with our fun. We'll have face painting there, bouncy castles and all that. And we'll also do live sessions when it comes to Instagram, Facebook and all that, where the public can join in. They'll read, we will also assess them and award them with prizes and all that.
Right.
So
yeah, we need to quickly wrap up, but I mean, pedicabs exist as a group on its own. So, so young people between the ages of 6 and 14 can be part of the club.
Yes.
Right? Is it a club?
It's an organization.
Rather,
that
okay.
promotes reading.
All right, okay. So you've just said that it's not limited to school, to schools, and so the community will enjoy. You can find them on social media. The name is what? Pedicabs on all platforms.
On all platforms.
All right. It will be interesting to see what you've got lined up. But thank you so much for joining us. Your final words in 30 seconds each?
Thank you so much to Joy and Multimedia for partnering us from the launch, and we brought our program, and you've been so very helpful, and and we are your commitment to reading and the prosperity of Ghana is exceptional. Right. So we want to say thank you.
Thank you too.
To our parents and to our society out there, come join us with the carnival. To corporate organizations, come partner us to really make sure that SDG 4 is achieved and quality education becomes a reality for our nation.
Right. And you, Ajwa?
Yes, we just want everybody to know that reading is not a chore, it is not a punishment. We should see it as fun, because that's what leads to our success.
Right. Thank you so much. That's Ajwa Mpoma. She is Brandon Com Senior Associate at Pedicabs, and earlier you heard Anyele Pedi. She is the CEO of Pedicabs. Find them on social media and acquaint yourself with what they do. Well, that's all time will allow us today on the AM show. I am super grateful that you made time to join Benjamin and I. But before I go, I have a few special messages. Happy birthday, Professor Samson Ifa Apreku. You are the Executive Chairman of Samara Company Limited. Your love, support, care, and mentorship is something that can't be comprehended. A great leader with a heart of gold. Now, here's what the management and staff of Samara Company Limited wish for you. They ask for the overflow of God's blessings and to many more wonderful and successful years, Prof, coupled with good health and massive wealth. They say, Ayiko. And to Mr. Lucky Lamte from your children, they say happy 85th birthday to you, and they're asking the good Lord to bless you with long life. They love you so much, Mr. Lucky Lamte of North Kaneshi. And what can I say to you watching me? Thank you so much once again. I appreciate your company. God willing, we are back tomorrow with another exciting edition of the AM show. But up next is News Desk with Aisha Ibrahim. Do stay, take care.
Imagine a family without a home. Imagine a song without a voice. Imagine a church without prayers. Imagine a government without citizens. Imagine democracy without journalists. Imagine a world without the media. Life is full of issues and stories about people, communities, and governments. Stories that have to be told by well-trained journalists. That's why you can't imagine news without JoyNews.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to JoyNews. That's We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. Coming up this morning, Ghana embarks on HIV/AIDS self-testing initiative to check rising cases of new infections in the country. How will this work out? The director of Ghana AIDS Commission is my guest this morning. Also, we'll tell you about an unusual situation in New Botiano where occupants of a house have resorted to climbing a ladder in order to go in and out of their home after flood waters eroded the entrance of the house. Last 9 people killed in 581 fire incidents recorded in the Ashanti region in the first half of 2023. We have details plus business and more coming up. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Do stay for details. Many thanks for choosing us. The Accra metropolis leads with the highest number of persons living with HIV in the Greater Accra region. This was revealed by the Mayor of Accra, Elizabeth Saki, at the launch of the National HIV Self-Testing Program in Accra on Wednesday. According to the Mayor, some 8,112 persons in the metropolitan area are among the over 350,000 persons living with the disease nationwide.
It's estimated that the national adult HIV prevalence stands at 1.66%, with a total of 354,927 individuals living with HIV, consisting of 330,250 adults and 24,712 children. In the Greater Accra region, Accra Metropolis has the highest number of people living with HIV, with a total of 8,112, which is a stark reminder of the agency with which we must collectively act to address the issue.
Well, with over 16,000 annual infection rates, the program's manager of the National AIDS and STI Control Program, Dr. Stephen Isiado, says over 200,000 HIV self-testing kits have so far been distributed among Ghanaians under the pilot phase, out of which over 80% of those who reacted were linked to treatment, some who were linked to treatment.
And through the pilot, we had 3 channels. The health facility where people could get a test kits and then test themselves. We also had one USAID-funded EPIC project, which was targeted at key populations. And then we also have the Garnet, who were distributed in communities, 50 districts in our country, targeted at adolescent girls and young women, their partners, other truck drivers, and betting settings. And then, last but not least, we have an online version, that's Self-Test Ghana, where people can order this test, and then they can test and then bring the results. So far, altogether, we've distributed about 200,000 test kits, different levels with respect to each of the organizations. And we are happy to indicate that quite a number of these people are early testers, first-time tested. In the EPIC project, the number tested, about 77% were first-time tested, testers, which means that without the self-test, they wouldn't have tested. And because it requires an effort to come to the facility, it's very difficult sometimes for people. So it's critical that people take advantage of this. And then all these people, quite a number of them have been linked. The positives have been linked to treatment. So it has enhanced the linkage rates, on antiretroviral therapy. The other benefit is that apart from the confirmation, anybody who is negative among key populations is eligible for pre-exposure prophylaxis. So you take the medication before you are exposed. And we were able to, out of these, all the numbers, that are identified, all the eligible people, we were able to link a good number of them, over 80%, also, for pre-exposure prophylaxis. Because if we want to end the epidemic, we must break the transmission among key populations. Their prevalence is 18%. So we must protect them so that they don't transmit it to their partners.
Let's stay longer on this subject because we have the Director General of the Ghana AIDS Commission, Dr. Chirome with us in the studio. Grateful for your time, Doc.
Thank you.
First, let's look at our situation generally as a country. Are we progressing or retrogressing?
How do I put it? Yes, we are progressing, but at a slow pace for a number of reasons. So, for example, we are talking about testing. So I'll use testing as an example. Per our goal and objectives of the national response, we are supposed to test at least 95% of persons living with HIV for them to know their HIV status. And having been diagnosed, we expect that those who have been diagnosed, at least 95% of them will be given antiretroviral treatment and supported to achieve viral suppression. And we expect that those who are virally suppressed should be 95% of those who are on treatment. Now, currently, we have achieved only 72% of the target for testing. 72% of the target for testing, which means that the 28% who live with HIV in this country do not know their HIV status because they have not tested. And that is the reason why we have launched the self-test kits so that the underserved populations can be reached. And in fact, the number one underserved population in Ghana is men.
Okay.
It's men. We have the majority of men who live with HIV not knowing their HIV status because they have not tested. And these are the people who are spreading the virus. And so the opportunity is being given to men, adolescents and young people, high-class sex workers. That's what I call them. And we also have key affected populations like men who have sex with men, and the older men who have sex with men are also unreachable. And so this is a way that we want to reach them and to get them tested. Okay. We have transgender and injecting drug users. All these people are underserved populations that need the self-test kits.
Let's look at the breakdown. And this morning we're hearing about the AMA leading in the Greater Accra region. And I need you to break that down for me. I mean, if you look at the breakdown, explain those figures to me. Which area is leading with an increased infection rate and all that?
Okay, so the next week we are going to disseminate the results of the national estimates and projections, which will give us the details of the information you want put across now.
Okay.
But generally, every region in the country, every district in the country is affected by HIV. And so we see that HIV has something to do with urbanization. So the large urban centers have higher, concentration of HIV population in this country. Okay. And so you take Greater Accra, you have Accra, you have Kumasi, you have, of course, Takoradi, and the other, big centers. They all have very high HIV prevalence, much, much higher than the national average. And so we have to look at urbanization, and that is the reason why we have prioritized these cities to ensure that we reach out to more at-risk populations living in these cities so that they get tested, and those who test positive are given antiretroviral treatment and supported to remain on treatment. Okay. Because treatment is a lifelong thing. And so once they start, they need to continue and become virally suppressed and maintain their suppressed status. That is the only way they can have healthy and productive lives.
So 46 people are infected with HIV/AIDS every day. Yes. Across the country.
Yes.
What could be accounting for this?
The first factor is the fact that more and more people are taking risks that expose them to HIV. And this time people are much more daring. Inhibitions, the traditional society, the kind of inhibitions we had in the traditional society seem to have broken down. And so you have young women and men, doing sex work on the internet, in our streets, all over the country. That is one. People have seen taking sex as a means of livelihood, especially for young men and women, and that is quite concerning, because when they are no longer attractive, when they are no longer able to attract the clients that they currently have, what will be the source of their livelihood? Yep. It's very concerning. And the saddest thing about it is that HIV affects the most economically active population in the country, aged 15 to 49. And that means that if we do not reduce the new infections that we are currently seeing to the barest minimum, then the country stands a serious risk of having, having its economy significantly undermined
Okay.
by HIV infections in the country.
It does appear to me that awareness creation, we still need some level of education with what you're saying. What happened to awareness creation? I remember those days when it was all over the place. If it's not on, it's not in. Protect your life. You know, it's your life, it's your choice. Those days. What happened? We don't see all of that anymore.
Okay, yes. We don't see those old songs now because the HIV has evolved. You know, the epidemic has evolved and the way we handle it has also evolved. And therefore, there are certain nomenclature in some of the songs that no longer apply today.
Okay.
However, and therefore, we have come up with new ones. Not a song, but we have educational television, you know, arts, and radio jingles.
But is it widespread like we used to here?
Yes, it has to be widespread, but someone has got to pay for it. Okay. And that is where we have the major challenge. We no longer have the resources as we used to. Currently, we have only 1/3 of the money we need to finance the HIV response. And as you said, the awareness creation, the education, the counseling, the outreaches, you know, and making services available, you know, right at the doorsteps of the people are very essential if we must achieve our goal. We don't have the money to do all that.
Why? Because those days, you don't receive donor support anymore?
We do receive donor support. Without it, we will not be doing anything at all so far as HIV is concerned. We are getting money from Global Fund. We are getting money from the PEFA, that is the Precedent Emergency Relief for AIDS plan. Okay. Sorry, I am not, I haven't put it right, but the PEFA is also supporting. The UN agencies, they have the HIV program, so they support with some little money. But altogether, when you put all of it together, we are getting only about 1/3 of it. Why? Because the donors are saying that HIV funds, at least we should have 60% coming from domestic sources.
Okay.
And we are not able to meet that requirement. And so it is important for us as a people that at the stage where we have made significant progress. We have achieved a lot in the HIV response, but we stand a high risk of having these achievements reversed and putting the lives of people living with HIV in peril. Why? Because, as I said, they need lifelong treatment. Once they start, they must continue and live with it until they die. And because the drugs are very effective, they are able to live normal lives, like have the normal life expectancy. And so you expect that they will live beyond 60 years. And that means somebody paying for it.
Yeah.
Given the current economic situation of the country, we all understand government cannot do it all. And so individual Ghanaians, organizations, philanthropists have to come in. And so the commission has come up. The commission is by law responsible for resource mobilization for the AIDS response. And so legally that is our mandate and we must deliver on it. Whilst government is considering how much it will put in the program, individuals should also recognize that government cannot do it alone, and we all have to contribute. So we have a short code that people can donate to. It's star 9898 hash, star 9898 hash, and follow the prompts and donate, to the Ghana AIDS Commission or the AIDS Fund. We also have a bank account at the Bank of Ghana, and if you want to donate directly, that information is also available. And if you want to present your donation also publicly, that can be done. And all such donations will be acknowledged by the chairman of the commission of Ghana's commission, which is the president. If you want to, do the presentation directly to him or to the commission, it can easily be arranged. And so it is important that all of us make this contribution to the AIDS response. Otherwise, we are not only going to see people having AIDS or dying of AIDS, we are going to have, escalation in the new infections, which will undermine our economy and also the health of the people of the country.
We'll talk more about the self-testing exercise and the response so far, but let's also look at the antiretroviral drugs. How efficient has it been in supporting people living with HIV/AIDS?
It's been very efficient. That is why you do not see any emaciated, bodies walking around. That's why you are not seeing cases, so many cases in health facilities. In the past, some time ago, the AIDS cases were actually took the chunk of the number of beds in the health facilities. Today, it's not like that. You hardly see somebody with AIDS symptoms. It's because the medicines are working. You don't see people who are virally suppressed. You can see that they are living normal lives. They look normal. Nothing shows that they have any disease. And in fact, if you are not told, you won't know. And often when I am with them and I introduce them, people say that, no, we can't believe it. We can't believe it.
But that also comes with a cost, right?
That comes with a cost, and the cost is what makes the cost of the response, very high. Every year we need about $133 million to provide the services, wide range of services to the people of Ghana. And the cost of the antiretroviral medicines, which we do not produce in Ghana, we import them. Test kits, condoms, reagents and other laboratory supplies and other things logistics that are needed are all part of the cost. And of course, prevention is very important in every infectious disease response. Because it is infectious, it means that more and more people will continue to get it, and therefore we need to intensify prevention in its all forms, whether biomedical or behavioral or social or structural. We need to tackle all those aspects of the risk that expose people to HIV infection.
And I believe a key among all of that is being responsible as a person, so that we can all reduce the cost. Let's talk about the testing exercise, the individual testing exercise. I mean, how is it done and how has the response been so far?
All right. You mean the self-testing?
The self-testing, yes.
Okay. The self-test is a new innovation that has been introduced. We started the pilot in 2021, first with EPIC project, which is under the USAID program. They were working among key affected populations, men who have sex with men, sex workers, transgender. So they gave them the test kits for them to test. Presently, and then we had GANET, also that is Ghana NGOs in HIV response. They were also part of it. They were reaching out to adolescent and young people, and of course at-risk men in the communities. Now we have internet-based one as well, where anybody can order the test kits on the net, and it will be delivered to them. And so we also have the arrangement with some pharmacists who are selling the test kits. So the combination of these outlets helping us to reach more people with the self-test kits.
Okay, that's great. So if I walk into Ghana AIDS Commission, I can be handed a self-testing kit?
Yes.
And it's for free?
Yes. If you yes, that's for free, but in the pharmacy shop you
would have to buy it.
Yes, online I have to check whether it's for free or for sale. Okay. But the community-based distribution is for free.
Do you actually feel this is a very effective way? So what happens if people go into their rooms and they test and they see that they are HIV positive? What next? Are you convinced that these people will actually step out and start looking for help?
Okay.
Or they will keep it to themselves and spread?
Okay, so there is arrangement to support the people who receive the kits and use them. Okay. So that we can, follow up.
How do you
follow up steps? So in the community-based model, we have peers or individuals who have been trained to support their peers to take the tests, report back, and then they can support them and link them to health facilities for further counseling and diagnosis, as well as treatment. So that is it, and it's the same model that applies with the online. The pharmacies, staff of pharmacy shops have also been trained to provide same assistance to the testers or the users of the test kits. And so when you take the test kit, it provides all the information regarding how to conduct the test, to take the sample, and how to read the results, how to interpret it, and the steps that you need to take after having known your test result. And one of the steps that you need to take is to actually contact a health facility. And often people don't want to go to facilities within the communities where they live. At now, we still have people traveling all the way from Tamale to receive their antiretroviral medicines in Kolebu, in Accra, which is needless and a needless expense to, incur. In the communities, there are health facilities that provide HIV services, including treatment. And so don't feel shy to go to a facility near you. But if that is a problem for you, then don't travel too far, because it doesn't help in any way. We want to, kill stigma. And one of the ways of killing stigma is people acknowledging that it's their right to have good health. And good health is provided by health facilities. So going to health facility means that's the place for people who have health problems.
problems.
So if you go to health facility, it's your right.
It's your right.
And no worker in the health facility should stigmatize you because you have a certain kind of disease. And the law is very clear on this. If any healthcare worker or any other person stigmatizes a person living with HIV or affected by HIV, it's a criminal offense. And that person can take the
health worker on.
Take the health worker on and assert his or her rights. And the commission is there to support such people. So we should not be afraid to walk to any health facility to get the necessary services.
I'm grateful for your time, Dr. Treme Triahene, and he says that it's your right to seek for medical help and also take advantage of the self-testing. The number to help Ghana AIDS Commission, if you want to, is #9898*, correct? Yeah. Thank you so much for coming. Let me take you live to Kumasi because flag bearer hopeful of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Bawumia, has been campaigning across all 47 constituencies in the Ashanti region ahead of the NPP's presidential primary. The Vice President is expected to wrap his campaign today as he meets delegates of Tafo and Pankrono, and later he will meet with delegates who will be participating in the August 26 Special Delegates Conference. Nana Obuachi Yadom is at the Tafo Methodist Church, where Dr. Bawumia joins us live with some party delegates. Nana, bring us up to speed on what's happening at where you are.
All right, so Aisha, we are currently at the Old Tafo Methodist Church where the Vice President, Dr. Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia, will be wrapping up his campaign tour in the Ashanti region. We already know that the Vice President has been here for the past 2 weeks to campaign ahead of the August 26th Special Delegates Conference and the November 3rd Delegates Conference. So currently, he is here at the Old Tafo Methodist Church meeting delegates of Tafo and Pankrono. Earlier, when he was arriving, he was led by the Member of Parliament for Tafo, Vincent Eko Asefua, who took him to the Old Tafo Methodist Church. He's joined by the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Chairman Wuntumi, and his campaign coordinator and Member of Parliament for Efficacy, Nana Eyu Efriye, and also some other members of Parliament, especially the Chief of Staff at the Office of the Vice President, and some other important figures in the New Patriotic Party. Currently, I am here with the Communications Director, or let me say the spokesperson for the DMB campaign, Nana Akomia. He's here with me. Nana, welcome to JoyNews. Today, the Vice President is wrapping up his campaign in the Ashanti region. How has it been so far for the Vice President for the past 2 weeks, going across all 47 constituencies in the Ashanti region?
Well, it has been an arduous roadshow, if I can put it that way, going by bus to 44 constituencies across the Ashanti region. It has been arduous and tedious, but the Vice President has shown a certain resilience and strength in being able to do all of these 44 constituencies in 2 weeks. And this is the last one, Tafo Pankrono. Then he'll be finished with the Ashanti Regional Tower for now. And I'm sure you were in the hall and you have seen the enthusiasm and excitement of the delegates at the presence of the Vice President. And this is the 44th constituency. Now, this level of excitement and enthusiasm has been displayed in each of the 44 constituencies. And what is a bit surprising is that a majority of the contestants for the MPP flag bearership are from Ashanti region. A majority, if I can count about 8 or 9. So you would have expected that Ashanti region, having so many of its people in the race, would not be showing that much enthusiasm for the Vice President. But from the enthusiasm that you've seen in Ashanti region, there's no doubt that the Vice President is clearly the front runner in this race.
Talking about how some of these aspirants are from the Ashanti region, do you think that the Vice President can carry the weight of the Ashanti region come August 26th for the Special Delegates Conference and also for the Delegates Conference in November 3rd?
Oh, I have no doubt in my mind at all because the affection and the enthusiasm and the excitement, you can see this is not faked. This is real. And you had a constituency chairman, and it's been like that, chairman after chairman after chairman after chairman. They openly declaring, even though you try to restrain them, but they can't help it. I mean, and you can see the reaction from the constituencies, the delegates, when the endorsements come. There's no doubt that Bawumia will carry Ashanti region. And if when he carries Ashanti region, obviously, he's going to carry the rest of the country.
And there